Yes, yes, yes. It is a Castworthy podcast, and we are back. Two man gang today, 2/3 of the crew. Myself, hello, my name is Steve on the Instagram machine, joined by EJ, the sophisticated one, Bourbon Ace on the Instagram
Not
machine.
today, baby.
Very, it's very, very few and far between weekends when you are. Um,
Oh, shit.
it's Sunday, March 30th. Shit. This first quarter went by like quick.
Nothing. That's what
Quick. I
happens
feel
when
like
Trump is in office, baby.
yeah, yeah, sleight of hand. Sleight of hand. You just over here fighting for your life when Trump is in office.
Time speeds up when you're fighting for your life.
Motherfuckers is out here fighting for their life. Eggs is
Hmm
high. Woo! Stock market is tanking. This is probably the
Social
last week.
Security is in jeopardy.
This is probably the last week for people to go out and buy a car. Like if you need to buy a car, you probably need to go do that now before the tariffs go, unless you're trying to get a Chevy or some shit. Because the shit got to be American made. Once he throw them tariffs on, that shit going up. Prices went up.
Honda's American made now, right?
Nope.
I thought they got factories here.
Honda, Hyundai, Mazda,
Yeah,
all the Kia,
he's
all the
made
cheap
here.
joints, all the cheap joints. You're gonna have to pay. You're gonna have to pay.
I think
You
Toyota's
see,
made here too now.
you talking about Chevy? No, Toyota's not here either. I want to say
Mm.
Toyota might be in Mexico. You're talking
Who?
about Chevy. You're talking about Ford, Tesla. That's probably
GMC.
GMC, Cadillac. That's the bulk of it. But those are already expensive. So you're talking about the discount whips that people been buying, the cheap Civics, the cheap Accords,
Audis.
the cheap well those ain't cheap, but yeah, Volkswagens, the Jettas and shit like that. The price is gonna go up on those, and because of that, used cars are gonna go up, like just like it was in
Oh,
COVID.
I didn't mean Audi. I meant Infinities.
Oh yeah, Infinity, also Toyota, trash. Um, actually, Toyotas are good, but Infinities are trash.
Infinities are
Actually,
trash.
I'm sorry, it's Toyota Lexus. Infinity is Nissan. That's what it is, which is also
Infinities trash.
um.
Infinity is trash, yo. There's so many people got Infinities, yo, and they think they be stunting. It's not a good car at
It's not.
all.
I mean, they've had a period where they've made them look good, like the Q classes. They
Yeah,
look
they look
good,
phenomenal.
but they gonna die.
That,
Infinity's gonna die.
that's the poor woman's Mercedes. It looks nice, but it's trash. Infinities are trash. Stop it. You out here in your Infinity thinking you flossing. Stop it. And I'm talking to you.
Yeah, buy an Audi. Get a little Q45 or some shit. Like, actually, that's Infinity. Get a little
Get a Volvo. If
huh?
you have kids, get a Volvo.
Volvos are safe. Volvos are safe. They ugly, boxed out, but they safe as shit. And they working on their technology. Listen, man, they just trying to keep the Japanese out, man, because in China and Japanese and Japan, the vehicles that they are creating out there, I've been watching some videos, hand
Shit crazy.
gestures to bring shit down and up, and it's
Shit's
affordable.
crazy. Shit is
It's
crazy.
budget friendly. Like,
Japan's technology in their country, but you know why all of this shit is significant. It's all because of the world wars. If you look back at it, right? Japan invaded China and massacred millions of people. Nobody ever talks about this. Then they dropped bombs on Pearl Harbor. A part of this shit is a little fear. And I think the old people in American government that are old enough to remember, they like, yo, we can't fuck with these people. They're all peaceful now. Everything's progressive. But there's a little fear behind that. And it's a reason. December 7th, 1941, when they dropped bombs on Pearl Harbor, that shit was real.
yeah, but that was real. But look, don't let them pull the shades over your eyes. The old school American, look, they know what the military is capable of. They know what we got. I mean, Japan may be far ahead of us when it comes to computers, vehicles, and shit like that. When we talking about warfare, look, look, if it ain't a hand-to-hand combat, just because they got more, and it's just because they got more people. It ain't because they bigger or stronger. It's just because they got more. But if it ain't hand to
And
hand,
it martial arts.
listen, listen. And to be real, as much of a dick Trump is, he's the one. He's the one. Like you talk
He already
about
got war plans leaked. War
right.
plans leaked. Oh my
Listen,
God.
man. Listen, it ain't no you hit me first with that dude, yo. Like if he feel like it's coming, he's gonna set it. And he's not gonna set it lightly. So I'm not worried about that part of it. But I am worried about the if that doesn't happen, which it shouldn't, right? Like we hope for that there's no world war, but he's planning it. He's ready for it. And he's
Clearly,
trying to create it.
clearly
He's
he's
trying to,
playing.
let me
Clearly.
tell you something. Let me tell you something. These prices, yo, the prices of everything is up right now. The stock market is down. The economy is fucked up. People's stress levels is high. It's important for people to take care of themselves mentally and physically, and um don't stop, yo. Don't stop moving just because it looks like it's going in the wrong way. Like it's going in the wrong direction. We know that, but you got to keep going, keep having fun, keep spending for your family, and that's it, man.
I
That's it.
mean, you talking that shit, and it's like we're black people, right? When has this country ever been in favor of us?
Right.
Ever? You know what I'm
We've been
saying?
struggling, no matter who the president is, no matter what's going
Exactly.
on at the high levels. We've always had a struggle. Um,
We've watched on this pod, right? We've been anti-police to some degree, and not in the sense that we don't like police officers and good police or the law. We dislike those that abuse the law. And we've been on this pod. We watched George Floyd. We've watched incident after incident after incident. We just went through a whole stretch of presidency, but we still didn't get the George Floyd bill passed. And Trump is coming in and he's just doing whatever the fuck he wants to do, unapologetically.
mhm.
And this is the kind of politics when you have your majority rule. This is how you supposed to do shit, apparently. Right or wrong.
Even if you don't have your majority, because you figure there's stuff that there's bills he signed that the courts have you know declined, and he's still pushing shit through. Like you executor, you executor. Like you give me a plan, and he's not planning this shit. He's not smart enough. Trump is not smart enough. I mean, he's a failed businessman. He's old as shit. The only thing he knows how to do is rile people up. So he has people planning this stuff. They give it to him and he executes. And that's what it is. And he don't and the thing about it is when you don't execute in fear. What's the worst that somebody can say? No.
Right.
You're gonna bring a plan, you're gonna bring a project to somebody and say, yo, this is what I think is gonna move us forward. And what they gonna say? No, that's not gonna work. Then you still do it. And if it goes through and it works, you look like the good guy. If it goes through and it fails, then you move on and you pull the shades over their eyes, which is what Trump is doing
Yep.
every single day. And that's the reality of it. And so while I think what the problem is we're very apologetic people, we're very forgiving people, and we're empathetic
Some
people. Like if you
some of us are.
think about that video of the white girl, the basketball, high school basketball, I think it was high school, where the coach pulled her by the ponytail. I don't know if you saw that video. It
No.
was a white girl and a white coach, older white man coach. They playing high school basketball. I want to say the game was over and they might have just lost. And they're going to line up to greet the other team. I'll find the video and send it to you. And he yanks her by the ponytail, right? And the black girl, second girl in line, is like, yo, she checks him on it. Like, get the fuck out of here. What are you doing? And that's who we are as a people. You know what I'm saying? We're so worried about other people. We're so empathetic about other people. A lot of the stuff that this guy is against don't impact me, don't impact you, in the sense of when we talk about how he's talking about trans people. He went on TV today and said, "Yo, you never gonna be a woman." He went on TV this week and said to trans people, "You will never be a woman. You're a man. And as far as I'm concerned, it's two genders. It's men, it's women. Hey, military, no more trans people. Hey, this, no trans people. None of that, right?" And it's because we're sympathetic to that, right? But the stress that comes along with worrying about that, I'm not gonna let that stop me from going forward. Like, sure, I'll post about it. I'm a an avid supporter of people that are against that, but I'm not gonna let it stop me from moving forward. It's not gonna stop me from providing for my family. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what people have to realize is like there are people that are going to be impacted very bad. There's going to be people that are going to lose significantly. Immigrants, some older people, which is fucked up. Gays, like that's who they're targeting. Those are the people they're targeting, and they're going to be impacted heavily. And it's unfortunate, right? But that can't stop you from moving forward. Like you got to get up and go to work every day. You can't stop living your life. Sure, prices went up, but guess what? Plan that vacation. Plan it ahead of time. Make the cuts where you need to make them so you can still enjoy your life, so you can still show a good time to your kids, your wife, your husband, your family. And that's it. Like that's what life is about. It's too short, man. People are
Well
not
said.
waking up the next day.
Well said. Well said. Well
That's
said.
that's that's where I'm at in it right now. Like, sure, do I hate it? Absolutely. Is it going to be stressful next 2.5 years to go? Sure, but it's not going to stop me from doing what I need to do to ensure that tomorrow is a great day.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It's always 5 o'clock somewhere, and it's like in Baltimore, I feel like it's 5 o'clock everywhere, every
Yeah.
day. Anytime I talk to you, it's 5 o'clock.
You didn't even it was still some spots on the table that we missed, man. Oh, and there's some new spots now. We got this new spot that me and the old lady went to. They have a nice restaurant downstairs. We didn't eat any food there, but that's fine. But they got a speakeasy that opens up from like a bookcase. There's a lot of speakeasies popping up now. I don't
That's
know if
just
that's
because that's just because you've changed your locations because you're now going in pairs. It's different when you're
no,
going out single and you're going on demon time versus going out with the
no.
misses and you know, the places you go are a little bit different. You're frozen. Or I'm frozen. One of us are frozen. It's not me. My internet is still up. So we'll wait for EJ to pop back in. And let's start talking about some of the topics that we had on the agenda this week. Yeah, you froze up for a minute.
Yeah, man. We've been on this time for all this time, and I didn't realize I was on some on that old lady's hotspot.
Oh, I started talking about your relationship travels, and you disappeared. I thought he was hiding something from the feds or something.
You see, the Lord be knowing. Nah, but I make it a business. I make it my business to kind of know places because I was a manager, a restaurant manager at one point. And I think honestly, of all of the things I've ever done, I worked for the state of Maryland for 10 years. Working for government in DC. I've done a lot of things. Being a restaurant bar manager was the most fulfilling thing I've ever done, but I'm also
Right.
scared to ever do it again. But I like to make it my business to know, what's out there. And there's just a lot of speakeasies coming out. And we went to this brewery yesterday, and Steve, there were grown people dressed up as fairies and elves. I was like, yo, what is going on? And they was just in their own happy little element with the breweries. They had like arts and crafts. It was crazy. But this is going on in Baltimore, right around the corner from the hood. I love it.
Yeah, I mean that's every day down here. It's theme shit like that all the time down here. So when you tell me about that, that's Tuesday.
Another Tuesday. Yeah.
That's every day. But yeah, man, I need to make another trek up there, and I suspect that this time might be a little bit different because I know the places you frequent have changed slightly. But
Yeah, baby.
I'll find a way to
No,
get you. I'll find a way to get you back on Demon Time.
no, I'm on there. Don't worry. We still got headquarters. You know what
I'll find.
headquarters is.
Yeah, I'll find a way to get you back on Demon Time. I'll bring the best out of you.
Ah.
I'll bring I'll bring the best out of you. Some of us are just programmed that way. That you know.
Yeah, it's all good, man. Listen, as long as we alive, we gonna make it happen. That's all we can do. You know,
Yep,
like you
yep.
said, keep pushing forward.
That's it. Um, what we got going on this week, man? What was in the news? What was in the news? I mean,
LeBron James.
we could start with LeBron and Stephen A. We can start with LeBron and Stephen A.
Stephen A is a genius, man.
Tell me
He's
more.
a genius. I mean, because everything he's doing, he can't be serious about any of the stuff that he's saying, right? But this is a slow period for sports. There's not a lot happening with the NFL. Baseball just started. Basketball is in the place where playoffs and things are being solidified, but the playoffs ain't start yet. This is a dead period in sports. And so Stephen A has found a way, regardless of how he feels about his own self morale, to make himself relevant. It's prime media. Only thing's missing is Skip Bayless.
Well, Skip chimed in. Skip chimed in slightly. We'll end up getting to that. So Stephen A is a genius, I suppose, right? But here's my thing. Like, I feel like Stephen A already got his payday. Like he already got his re up with
ESPN.
ESPN. And I know that there was, the contract disputes and stuff like that, and people were expecting that maybe he was going to go his own way and try to create his own network or whatever that looks like.
Mm.
Um, but with with that being off the table, I don't see what's behind the antics, right? I don't know if it's ratings. Is he trying to keep the ratings up? I don't know if he's shaking in his boots because Charles is supposed to be going to ESPN next year. And so maybe he's trying to, make himself or keep himself relevant because we know once Charles Barkley get over there, we know who's the alpha. Like Stephen A's been the alpha for some time, but he's got Pat McAfee who's over there now, which by the way is another conversation I want to have. Um and once Charles is over there, it can be quick to become irrelevant when you got Charles Barkley over there, especially Stephen A has been the NBA guy. Like my contacts have told me this. I talk to these brothers every day type shit. You know what I mean? You get a Charles Barkley over there, it's gonna change significantly. And it could be quick for Stephen A's reign to start to come to an end. But um I just wonder on the other side of it, right? Sure, Stephen A might be the mastermind behind it, but LeBron's eating into it. And it's not like this is the off season. Like this is the prime time. We have seen LeBron through his career not engage in the fuckery. We've actually heard of LeBron turning his phone off to get away from this type of stuff. So my question is, where does LeBron come in all of this? And why would he engage in this type of thing when your team is currently trying to make a push to continue to maintain a high seed in going into the playoffs and prep to be able to make a run in the playoffs?
It's age. It's age, and it's age and it's privilege. You know, he's already won. He's already silenced a lot of criticism when it comes to winning and accomplishments. So, he's at an age where it's like, the older we get, the more loose we become, the more unapologetic we become. And he's to blame, for subscribing to this shit. And he's clearly not focused on basketball. Because if he was focused on basketball the way that he used to be, he'd be turned out. He'd be turned off of this shit. But he's not. He's on his way out. And like we said, we don't know how many years he's going to have. He's already accomplished playing with his son actively. His son is doing his thing in the G League. He's going to have to make his own way. Bronny's going to have to make his own way. I don't know that he wants to keep playing until Bronny comes into the league.
Bryce,
That's
Bryce.
me, Bryce. I'm sorry. I don't know if he wants to keep playing until Bryce comes in the league. That might be like 4 or 5 years from now, maybe 3 to 4. But I think Bron is just succumbing to the fact that he's older now. He's letting things loose. Like he's done everything that he has to do, and he's clearly not focused on basketball. The old LeBron would be focused and locked in, and he'd be like, "I'm not." Yeah. Oh, LeBron would be like, "Somebody said something. I didn't hear about that, but I'm focused on the stat sheet." Right now, he's worried about everything else other than basketball.
I don't like that. Here's my criticism to LeBron. Like I get it. You're a dad, and I was on his side of it. Like before, you and VP were more so on Stephen A's side than Braun. I was on Braun's side, and I get it from a dad standpoint. I get it from the my perception is that you're downplaying and you can have an impact on the success of my kid's career. You know what I'm saying? As a talking head. So I see that. Stephen A claps back and says, if he had touched me, I would have swung on him. He did say, which they left off of all the viral videos, they left this part off. He said, I would have got my ass whooped. He did say that. And I commend Stephen A for knowing he would have got his ass whooped, which is, he should, right? LeBron is 6'8, 6'9, 270, stocky, works out every day, spends whatever on his body. Stephen A is 40, 50 something years old. Like, all right, yeah, you would have
Can't
got your
fight.
ass.
Any can't fight. We saw the
And he
video.
can't fight. We saw the video that Brown put up. So yeah, he would have got beat up. But I commend him for knowing he would have been Jeff Van Gundy out there hanging on hanging on his leg. Um, my beef with my
Ah,
my beef with LeBron though is the clapback. I'm for it, but why the clapback on Pat McAfee? Why the clapback on the white guy's platform? Like you don't have a Shannon Sharp that you could have gone to. Like you don't
mm,
have a Gilly. Like you don't have a Cam. Like you don't have a Joe Budden. These are guys that are looking to get into those larger
mm,
spaces, larger conversations, and compete with a Stephen A. and a Pat McAfee, and you decide to go to the guy that's already competing, one, and two, he's the white guy, and three, he runs around with Aaron Rodgers, who's a Trump, right wing. Like the only way he could have gotten worse is if he had gone to Rogan. That's the only worst option, in my opinion, for those outlets would have been Rogan, maybe academics because he's a Trump supporter, whatever. But you could have given that to Shannon Sharp, yo. You could have given that to Joe Budden. You could have given that to Gilly. You could have given it to so many other people, Cameron, people that are trying to break that space. I'm that's my criticism for Braun.
and that's a very unique take on it, and that's a very unique take on it. And you're right when you look at the Pat McAfee's. To go on that space, you had to think that through. You had to plan that out.
Mhm.
That just wasn't by happenstance. So that's a very unique take. And I mean, we could have that take for a lot of people in the game. I mean, shit, he got the barbershop thing. You know what I mean? He could
And
have
you
did
got
it
your own
himself.
shit. Yeah, you got your own shit.
Yeah, it didn't make sense.
I'm
But
I'm not I'm not happy about that.
yeah, like I said, he's getting old and he's doing whatever. I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
It's a bad decision unless somebody threw something at him like, yo, we already got the tapes of you on the Diddy shit. We'll let it go, but you got to go on McAfee show.
Nah, not LeBron. Not LeBron. Nah, LeBron. Speaking of Diddy, man, shout out to Young Miami. I love Young Miami. Shout out to
Why do
her.
you why do you love Young Miami?
Because, man, even though in this ratchet era and her celebrity, whatever it may be, she's still a girl that says, I need a man in my life. I want to be submissive. I want to be loved. She speaks what black men need to hear about family and livelihood in a day where you could look on your phone any minute and women are exposing themselves and that's fine, I don't mind, but I mean some of us still want a traditional family life and she still preaches that no matter what her music says, no matter what her celebrity says, she's still trying to get, seemingly a stable life, So shout out to Young
I mean, this is the storm after the calm, I guess, or the storm after the storm, I think, or the calm after the storm. Like she went through it. She was with Diddy. She was in the midst of that shit. So she has to have seen, heard, and been a part of some of the worst of it. Maybe not the worst of it, but definitely some bad stuff, right? I mean, it
Miami.
came out allegedly she liked to be peed on. It came out allegedly that she would allow him to go, do things in other places with other women. Like all of that allegedly came out when she was with him. And that was her come up, right? And so now that she's got a name, she's got a face, she's got a place in the culture, maybe she's starting to realize, like, all right, I went through that. Now I'm at a
No,
point where I
no, I gotta give her credit. She's always said that, even when she was dating him, and when he gave her own show on Revolt. That's kind of why I like her because she's consistently said that, and she's one of those artists that separate from the music. Her life is different. She's saying she wants a family. She said that then, but you said something that was significant. You
just tell
said
me you want to smash Young Miami. Just get to the point.
you said something significant. You said she let him peel her. What would be the number?
Allegedly.
What would be the number? And obviously it would have to be female, but what would be the number?
To pee on me?
Yeah.
Who's the female? Because that's
Mm.
going to determine the number. Like, is
I
it
I
is it
I
Rosie
got
O'Donnell? Is it
I
Rosie
got
O'Donnell?
I
Because
got
that
I
number
got
is
one for you. I got one for you. I know you would do for free. Selma Hayek.
oh, exactly. How much do I gotta pay? what, what, how much do I? What's the price for that? Can I put it on my PayPal account? Like,
I
what are we
owe you for
talking
life.
about? Yeah, what are we talking about? And are we
Yeah.
talking about, like, am I getting the benefits that she got from Diddy? Like, am I getting a home? Am I getting put on? Do I get put into videos and movies because of Selma? Like all of that, that's pay, in my opinion.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's pay. Um,
Absolutely.
but yeah, I mean, in a, ooh, I don't know, dog. Like, see, she saw the outcome. Probably she was way ahead of it, and I guarantee there's a lot of them that were like, "Nah, you're not peeing on me, dog. You're not peeing on me. I'm not taking an IV the next day. I'm not. You're not gonna flash me with the little Men in Black joint to make me forget what happened last night. Like, like there was. I'm sure there was a lot of them that was like that. But look, man, she wanted to come up and she went and got it.
Shout out
She
to
went and
Young
got it.
Miami. Shout out to Young Miami. I love her.
Yeah, she alright. She alright in my book. She's alright in my book. What do you think this Stephen A. and LeBron thing is over though?
No, I mean it's gonna dwindle down pretty soon. And like we're starting April soon. You know what April is? The NFL draft. So both of them are gonna be irrelevant. Any NBA playoffs, excuse me, are gonna start soon. So LeBron might not be as irrelevant. But I tell you what though, if LeBron can't get them Lakers straight with Luka Doncic on there, he's gonna have a bigger problem than Stephen A. Because we're gonna start to look at his legacy once again. And the thing is, right? We want to talk about Jordan. All the LeBron supporters always talk about how Jordan had Scotty. Didn't do this with Scotty. Didn't do that without Scotty. Cool. But no one's professional career has been criticized or critiqued like LeBron's.
Right.
Like you put together this Miami show. You did the thing in Cleveland. You did this, you did that with LA, the bubble. Now you got Luca. You got one of the top 10, arguably maybe top five talents in the league. Granted, he hasn't played defense, but you got another guy that could be your Robin as Batman in your career. How many has he had at this point? A lot.
Uh it's yeah. I mean, it just depends how you throw it together. Um, but you got D Wade, Chris Bosh,
Kyrie,
Kyrie, Kevin Love. I'm not gonna let y'all shit on Kevin Love like he wasn't the best rebounding player at one point in the league for 3-4 years
double
in a
double
row.
guy.
Double double every game. In fact, he was Minnesota cat before cat with
He
better
was
rebounding.
he was the second coming to KG at the KG left, killing them
Indeed.
with no help.
Indeed.
Now this guy
Um,
has Luca, Anthony Davis.
right. AD. Shit.
Come
Forget
on,
let's not forget the year he had AD, Westbrook, and Melo on the same team with the Lakers. Like,
come on, man,
and didn't make the playoffs.
come on, man.
And
So
now
so
you
I
got
guess
and now you got Luca.
and so I guess right. I guess in the long run, if he doesn't show and prove on the court, what you think Stephen A's gonna do? Stephen A's gonna
Mm.
find a way to take all of this and spin it and say, you see, you can't do what you need to do on the court. You'll never be Jordan. And it'll look bad for LeBron at that point.
Well, that was where when you said all you need is Skip. And Skip chimed in because Braun said to or I'm sorry, McAfee asked Braun about his relationship with Jordan, and he says, "Oh well, we don't talk." And he says, "Well, why?" And Braun says, "Well, because I'm still playing. I'm still building my legacy, so I think when I'm done, we'll talk more." And I'm
Mm,
paraphrasing. There was more to it. He spoke about how him and Kobe were still talking, and it was because they were Lakers. It was bullshit. It was all bullshit. You're not talking to Mike because Mike don't like you. Because Mike talked to Kobe. Mike talked to other players. A lot of other players said that they talked to him while they were playing. So, like, I think that was his play to try and be like, well, because I'm still playing, and we need to see if I'm going to end up better than him. That's dog, and that's what Skip Bayless chimed in, right? And Skip Bayless chimed in and said, now, depending on how you think about Skip, as a hater, as a racist, as whatever you call him, the one thing that he doesn't slight on is the Jordan LeBron comparison conversation. A lot of the other shit he's some bullshit on. A lot of other shit when it comes to LeBron, he's some bullshit on. But when you talk about the comparison between him and Jordan, he's consistent. And I think he makes pretty valid points consistently. But he basically said, you guys will never talk. You guys will never be on that level. You will always be a step behind Jordan. And again, paraphrasing there. And so that's where Skip chimed in. And I think LeBron's career, he can end and walk away, you know, into the sunset if he just assumes or accepts that you're never going to have everyone say that you're the GOAT, right? You will always be in that conversation. You're going to always have your people from this generation that feel like LeBron is the GOAT. You're going to always have people from all generations that still feel like Jordan is the GOAT. And you just have to accept that as a player and accept that some of the decisions that you made, no pun intended. First conversation he had on ESPN, the decision. I'm taking my talents to South Beach. Not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six. All right, dog. Slow that down. Then back to Cleveland, pairing up with arguably the best point guard at the time in the league. Then out to the Lakers, where you paired up with the best power forward in the league. Now you're paired up with a top 3 player overall in the league. Accept decisions that you made. Did it lead to a great career? Absolutely. Did you build a different outlook for how the NBA goes, how superstars approach their careers in the NBA? Absolutely. Impact there. Does everybody look at you as a GOAT? Will that have people slander you as the GOAT? I think so. And if he accepts that and moves forward, then I think his career ends so much smoother. Again, he finishes up, however, with the Lakers. Maybe he gets to play with Bryce, which would be amazing, especially if he can find a way to get the Lakers to pick Bryce up, where it's him, Bryce, and Bronny. Now you're really making it like nobody challenges the fact that he's a great dad. Nobody challenges his decisions off the court. It's the on the court decisions you made,
Even
and people.
even they did kind of, and that was part of the problem. But yeah,
What do you
you're
say?
right. Well, it was some commentary. I can't remember exactly what it was, but he
Okay.
did say some things about him um in parenting. And I think that's what people are kind of harking on that LeBron got mad about. But I think everything he's saying is absolutely right. LeBron, if you could just accept the fact, you're never gonna truly, in many people's eyes, be better than Jordan. And yo, let's think about it. If Jordan did what LeBron did, it's equivalent to Jordan going to the 94 Knicks or the 93 Knicks or the 92 Knicks, rather, not 94. It's equivalent to Jordan teaming up with Ewing, John Starks, Oakley. Do you know how many championships they might have won? This team was in the Eastern Conference Finals back to back to back every year. It's like Jordan teaming up with Olajuwon, Drexler. Like LeBron, you teamed up with some guys. You made your road to the championship a little bit easier. Let's not front. You know what I'm saying? If Jordan did that, because people want to talk about what Jordan didn't do. If Jordan teamed up with a Barkley, what if Jordan went to Phoenix with Dan Marley, Barkley? Huh?
Hmm.
What are we talking about?
Or after he comes back from retirement, he goes to the Magic
I
and
was
plays
just
with
about to say that.
Penny and Shaq.
Miami, Shaq. Oh,
Right.
are you kidding me?
Yeah. No, I'm on the same. I'm on the.
Oh my gosh.
I'm on the same. I'm on the same page as you when it comes to that. Although this point in in LeBron's life or career, I like him more than I did before because he's now the villain, even more so. Right, like just like Kobe. I told you I was not a Kobe fan until he became the villain. Till after the Colorado thing. It's just the way it is, right? But and I like LeBron standing up to Stephen A. And I hope that it starts to die down. I hope it doesn't impact, his focus when it comes into the playoffs because they do have potential, right? I mean, obviously there's some really great teams out there. OKC doing their thing, flying under the radar. Um, Denver again, still sleeper mode. Once they get healthy and you get into the playoffs, who knows who if anyone can stop them. Like so there's still some great talent out there even in the West or in the West, and then you talk about the East with the Celtics and the Knicks and some of the other teams that are
Well,
are playing well.
Jason Tatum is hurt at the wrong time right now.
Hmm.
So that makes it difficult for Boston. But I think at this point in time, LeBron, you have to be in or out at this point, right? And we understand there's more media, there's more access and stuff. But at the same time, to me, you're not showing that you're as focused on basketball as you have been in the past. And I'm not saying you're not justified for being focused on what you focus on, but it just doesn't seem like basketball is his number one priority right now. And if this team underachieves, if they don't win, if they don't do what they need to do, it's gonna be one of those ugly situations again where you're gonna be getting the backlash of how much you're not like Jordan. And it's gonna be even worse. If you have Luca now, this team you have in the West is stacked. but you're still supposed to be the GOAT, right? If you're the GOAT, you got to get to the Western Conference Finals with this team somehow. Even though it's not a deep bench, it's not a great team. You got Luca on your side. You got to get there.
Yeah. Um, he should have got at. I mean, he should have got at Mark Jackson when Mark Jackson said he was smash. Oh no, wait, I'm sorry. He was talking about Aisha Curry, wasn't he? My bad. I thought that was LeBron's wife. Mark Jackson was talking about.
Mark Jackson, yeah, Mark Jackson. Whew. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
wild.
Mark Jackson, wild boy. Um, yeah, we'll see, man. We'll continue to watch. You've been watching any baseball? You see the Yankees. Yankees are 2-0. I think they scored 16 runs yesterday. First three pitches of the game, back to back to back home runs. First
Aaron
pitch to the
Judge.
first to Goldschmidt, home run. First pitch to Cody Bellinger, home run. First pitch to Judge, home run. And then they went on to hit five more home runs after that. They won something like 16-6. Unless the score changed in the last two innings. I stopped paying attention at that point. But they said that the Yankees weren't going to be able to live life after Juan Soto, and looks like the Yankees are living life after Juan Soto.
Yeah, I mean they won yesterday 20-9.
Okay, so I cut off at
20.
16-6. That means they scored another four, but they also gave up another three, which is also concerning.
I mean, at that point, they letting me pitch at that point, you know.
That's true. That's
Uh, and Juan Soto. But again, this is typical for baseball, right? Just like the last time the Mets went to the World Series, they struggled early, and then somehow they wound up in the World Series. Juan Soto goes over there. They're 1-2 right now. Everybody's paying attention. Baseball, it's too tricky, man. I like that the Yankees are starting out hot, but they're gonna have to stay healthy. They're gonna have to stay consistent, and that bullpen is gonna have to show up when it counts. When it
that's a
counts.
true
But
statement.
I like what I'm seeing from the bats, and take advantage of these opportunities versus weak bullpens. That's what you're supposed to do. I like that. 20-9 is crazy. Like 20-9 is crazy. That's a football score. In
Mm.
baseball, that's
Yeah,
crazy. But
20 runs game two is wild. Before it gets hot, before the balls start flying. It's going to be interesting to watch. Just the baseball season in general. It's only 2 games in, so I don't want to get too excited.
three,
But 3 games in, Juan Soto hit his first home run as a Met. After
lost.
the first game, they lost, and he didn't show up that game. And Mets fans are Mets fans, right? Like people
Yeah,
talk about New York media and New York fans, and Yankee fans are bad, but Yankee fans have seen some recent success. But Mets fans and Jets fans are the worst when it comes to a superstar not performing. And it's because you continue to put this thing in front of them. You dangle the carrot in front of a Mets fan or a Jets fan. You say, this is the one that's going to get us to the next level. So when they don't perform, it's that much more heartache. And we saw Mets fans were booing the shit out of Juan Soto game one. Game one, booing the shit out of him, posting about him on the internet. And then he hit his first home run, game two. And, I think Juan Soto has a very good long career for the Mets. But there's no one there to outshadow. You're the guy. In like New York fans, New York media, you see how much flack Judge got last year for not showing up in the playoffs. You had someone to shadow you. Now for the Mets, there's no one to shadow you. Lindor is not the guy. You are the guy. So if it doesn't work, there's going to be some hell to pay, and hopefully he knows how to deal with that as a young kid.
I mean, I'm gonna shoot bail to the fact, Jets fans are typically Mets fans. Some are Yankees fans. Many are not many like me, but uh, Jets. We kind of know what we get into. We don't expect shit. We haven't won since 1969. But the Mets fans, it's been 1986 since they won it. But they've been to the World Series since, and it's been within reach. Uh, I don't know that this team that they have now. I don't know because they started out horrible last year, and look where they ended up. So I don't know. New York fans got to be patient. I think I always root for a Subway Series for World Series, and hopefully, both ball clubs can stay healthy. Who knows? Might be their time.
Yeah, yeah. Still early. We'll continue to watch baseball season for sure. Um, Cardi B and Offset still beefing. They broke up some time ago, but she came out this week and she was in Clubhouse, I want to say, on audio, and she said, "Let me ask you, what's too far for you know when you're dealing with your exes? Like when you're talking about fighting with your ex, you're talking about getting back at your ex. What's too far?" I'm gonna tell you why I asked that question. Cardi B says she's been dealing with stuff for the last 2 months. Most recent, she talked about Offset sending lewd videos of the two of them, him and her, to her somebody new she's talking to. I would assume it would be Stefan Diggs, right? Because that's who we know. We've seen her associating with recently. Is that too far? And how do you respond if you're the receiver? Like if you're and when I say receiver, I use
The
the term
receiver.
loosely.
I see what you did there.
See, I be spitting, yo. I don't be trying.
Bar. We call him a bar lord.
That's right. Bars.
Bar lord. Ooh,
Is it too far? You think Offset went too far? And do you think that he legitimately is trying to get back, or you think he's just trying to?
I think it's both. I think it's both. Because there's a part of him, right? Because the whole time she came out and was acting like this victim. Oh, he's cheating on me and all this other shit. But we never really saw the receipts of that, right? And then she went and got back with him. And so we don't know their real lifestyle, but the timeline seems a little bit washed. And then you come out, we've never seen Offset say or do anything or be caught out in public with anyone. Now y'all have this whole thing going on. You're out with Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs ain't just no anybody. He's $1 million NFL star receiver from DC, Maryland area. Shout out to him. But we didn't see Offset outside with no broads at all. So the whole time you've been saying this guy's cheating on me, he ain't no family man, this, that, and the third. Well, you the one outside with somebody else. So for all we know right now, Offset has always been saying from all reports he wants to keep his family intact. You are seemingly doing the opposite. So is it too far for Offset to do that? Probably. It's a little unhinged. It's a little bit what like women normally do. But, you know, he feels justified because he wants his woman back.
Do you think that if they before breaking up that she should have been okay with it was alleged that that he was just falling victim to strippers.
I mean, but that's all
Victim is probably
that's
a
all.
wrong word. But he
No,
was.
no, you're right. He fell victim. Yeah, they got something to him. But I mean, it's all speculation. You know what I'm saying? And again, we didn't see his shit on Front Street. We now looked at you that said you were going back to your family. You did all of this shit. You forgave him. Let's not forget there were also rumors that she was out here doing whatever.
In the
That's what
streets
celebrities do.
while pregnant.
But right. But that's what celebrities do. But you're making it more final in the sense that you're now outside with somebody noteworthy for clicks and views. Offset has never done that to the day.
I seen a post that said this week, um, a man cheats on his girl, right? He finds out he finds out that his girl cheated on him. So he says, "Are we, are we even? Are we done?" And she replies with, "We just getting started."
That's Cardi B.
I don't know. That's Cardi B.
That's
What I'm
literally
saying
Cardi B.
is, what I'm saying is, do you think men take it harder than women when they find
Yes,
out? But do
yes,
you think, and then do you think women take it farther than men?
yes, and yes. Because men take it harder because we love a little bit more differently. We're pragmatic people. We handle the everything, we handle the other things. And so our sacrifice, whether they want to admit it or not, when you have a man involved, we're not talking about the single women, all that. We have a man involved, our sacrifice, our time, our commitment means a little bit more. Women in their mind, they just do whatever they want, sometimes often don't think about it. So yeah, I don't condone either part of it, but I think men take it harder, especially if they're not doing the act. But men are also pieces of shit too because we can cheat and think that it's okay and nobody cares. But I'm saying in the fact that if they don't, they're committed. Men are gonna take it harder because we commit a lot more. We double down. We make a lot more sacrifices than we get credit for. And truth be told, in the back of a man's mind, he's always saying, well, you know what? Me being single is going to be way better than you being single because I can get whatever I want. You can only be 40 with some kids for so long and anybody going to want you. That's what men think. And part
Which
of it is
is
true.
which is which is sort of true when you talk about love and companionship. But 40 with kids, they could go out and get dig down anytime. It
Yeah,
don't
but
matter
it's not,
what age you
but
are.
it ain't going to mean shit. But a
No,
dude that's 40 with kids can go find him a little tenderoni that didn't have no father. She might be 25, 28. And she be like, you know what? I know you're a piece of shit, but you the father I never had.
that and this is why men pay child support. Um, I think women when they get cheated on, they get hurt and they get sad because they love someone, because they have the affection for someone, because they care. I think men, while they may love, care, and have an affection for that person,
We get
there's a
offended.
lot. It's a large part of ego, dog.
It's yeah, we get offended.
Because we've created this culture, we've created this society where penis size plays a major part in how you classify men.
Yep,
That's where
masculinity.
we live today. And the unknown, think about it. We saw Stephen A. Smith, I'm sorry, not Stephen A. Smith, Steve Smith, wide receiver, cause a man to go on social media, on the internet, to everyone and post a picture or text message of his wife telling Stephen A. Smith, or I'm sorry, telling Steve Smith. I don't know why I keep saying Stephen A. Smith. We talked about him earlier. Steve Smith, that he rearranged her IUD.
Mm, yeah, it's a masculinity thing, and it's tough. I don't think people really talk about that. You see all of the ED things, you see all of the Rogaine, all of that. When men get to a certain age, their libido supposedly decreases, and the one thing that makes you a man in the sexual part of your partnership with a woman is that. So again, to your point, if you're measuring up or you're not measuring up, it's gonna weigh on you. And so if a woman cheats, it's like, well, was it bigger? Did you suck him off?
Did you do that thing I
Like,
like? Did you do that thing I like? That's what it comes down to for
Yeah.
men. The
Yeah.
first thing men don't. The first thing that pops into a man's look, a man gets cheated on, or thinks he gets cheated on. His chest sinks in. Like a man's chest sinks in because now you got all that on the table. Like you was in my spot. That's like breaking into my house.
It's a
This
pride thing. It's an ego thing.
that is my
That's it.
safe space,
Hmm.
right? Like men are wishing and hoping, like, I hope he didn't bust the bottom out of it. I hope that he didn't make her feel better than I made her feel. Where women are thinking, God, I hope that they were not attached. I hope that they
Hmm.
were not like, I hope that he doesn't have feelings for her. It's two different feelings when when you got cheaters. Um I, on the Stefan Diggs or the offset thing, I gotta see you, dog. Like if I'm Stefan Diggs or whoever it is that received that video, now I gotta see
Why though? Cardi B titties been out here before.
you. Mm-mm,
You know what I
mm-mm,
mean? You smashing
mm-mm.
her. You know what it is.
Right. I guarantee you, like we know how Offset, we know how the Migos are. They like to fight. They've liked to fight since they came into, public eye, and probably far before that. Offset is not sending a video of him having missionary sex with Cardi B to her roommate.
Oh
You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you, this is probably the most
my God, yo.
lewd.
Oh my God, yo. You gotta
This
relax.
this is the wildest joint ever.
He sent the one where they tried it, the anal.
Oh, that's probably not even as far as it goes. It's probably worse than that.
You
It's her probably
no,
screaming,
he
saying
literally,
the
he literally
wildest
said
shit.
he literally said, I know she ain't giving you this, but she tried this with me.
Right, right. He sent
Oh
her.
my God.
He sent her
Oh,
the
I hate this.
video. He sent her the video where she couldn't shit right for a week or so afterwards.
Oh my God, yo. I hate this.
And
Now
or might have
that changes things.
in a public place or some shit. It could have been like at a park. Like, did she take this risk with you? Like, I'm telling you, if I'm whoever received that, whether it's Stefan Diggs, whoever her new man is, I gotta see Offset. I gotta see him. That's the reality of it, yo. And it's on site. It's on site. I don't care if I'm lined up. If I'm lined up out wide, pause, playing against Atlanta, and I look over in the stands and I see Offset right there on the 50-yard line, I might get offside. I might get a penalty, false start, all of that, because I just jumped in the stands to see him if I'm Stephon Diggs, yo.
Dog, I can't get past what the video might be. I
Right,
can't get past that.
right.
I can't get past that. I can't. Nah, I can't get past that.
Then like now, if you're the receiver, do you then turn around and send something back? And if you do, right, let's say it is Stephon Diggs. We're just going to say this, for hypothetical purposes, because it's alleged that they've been together. Um, let's say he sends that back. Does he lose right there at that point? Like, are you officially the loser at that point? Because now, basically, not only are you getting a video back, but who knows what that video looks like? And this is the mother of your kids, and she left you for this dude. Like, I don't know if I broach that, yo. I don't know if I want that war territory. It goes back to the war we talked about. Offset in this situation is Japan. He might set it. Stephon Diggs is the United States. Like, all right, hold on, dog. I'm an athlete.
I see
I
what
am
you
an
did there.
I am an athlete,
I see what you did there. Damn,
and
you are on point today.
he might drop a nuke.
He might hero respect to Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but Shit, he might send Offset a video back with him, Cardi,
Where
and
they
3 other broads.
exactly on some
He's
Neo shit.
on some Neo shit. Shout out to Neo. On
Like, yo,
some
this is just
Neo.
my this is my off season work right here.
Huh? You sending me videos with that? He looking at the video like, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. This is my
Let me
ACL
see.
treatment right here. Let me show
Let
you
me let me
something.
see his video back with me, Cardi, and them pancake areolas getting into something.
At the top of the Eiffel Tower.
Pancake.
Pancake. Yo, you gotta chill on Cardi's areolas, yo. There's some people that like that.
I do, I do, I do. I love him. I love him. Shout out to Cardi. Shout out to Cardi. But yeah, damn Cardi, gotta relax. But
Cardi bad.
she looks really happy with Offset though. I mean with Stefan. You know what I mean? And I think when we were talking about, there's a custody war and moving and all of that type of thing. I think that was part of it. And now he's in New England, right? So if they mess with each other that heavy and she moves up there, that's kind of her element. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that New England is gonna be an element, but I don't know.
No, but it's close enough to
To
New
New York,
York.
it's
She
close
could
to
get
New
a high
York.
rise in Manhattan, or
Yeah,
you know,
she could go to the Bronx,
or
not
she could be
South
back and
Bronx.
forth. Like, he's in New England, but that's just for the season. You know what I'm saying? And he's gonna have road games. It's all of that. Like, if they really a thing, we
We gonna
seen
see how
we
it
seen
works.
we seen Sierra moving around. They were married. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Sierra Rush though, man, because they make it look good though. To be real, all the shit that we give her, that me and you have given her, they make it look good. I like that for them. You know,
I don't give Sierra nothing.
we
I
did
don't
give
give.
her shit. We gave her
Yeah,
shit on this
but
podcast.
it was different. It was different shit. I
It was
kind of like.
circumstantial. It was circumstantial.
All I said is, like, if I'm Russell Wilson, it's a come up. Like, she slept with Bow Wow
And future. And 50.
and Future 50. And who
Shout out to
knows?
50. 50 roster's pretty good. Bow Wow roster's pretty good.
Bow Wow roster is good. He had a
Bow Wow.
little. Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
he
you
was
talking
like the
about the hip
Bieber.
hop life?
He was a black
Yeah,
Bieber.
yeah, literally black people, literally.
Yeah,
He was Bieber before Bieber.
black. Yeah, Bow Wow was black Bieber. Um,
Bow Wow is a black Bieber.
I'm a, but I'm a. You know what though? I don't think there's any roster that matches up to Nick Cannon.
The only other one that is comparable is Derek Jeter.
That's the closest. That's the closest. But
That's the only.
I think Nick Cannon
You
has
think Nick Cannon's
far.
roster is better than Derek Jeter?
I think it is, yo. I think it is. Go ahead and
Oh,
pull up Jeter. I'm gonna pull up Nick Cannon.
okay, all right. All right. Let me look here. I got stable internet for once on a stable. Well, not for once. Derek Jeter girlfriends lineup. Why is that even a thing? Okay.
Oh yeah, that because it's just a thing.
Hmm.
I
They have
mean,
a whole diagram for this.
I think and I'm sure there's one for Nick Cannon. See,
Give me
star
Nick Cannon
power.
because I have a whole diamond here.
You have a diamond. All
They
right,
have
I'm
a
gonna try.
di There's a Derek Jeter's dating diamond, literally. Yeah,
I'm,
there's a
I'm
Derek. This shit is the most. I'm amazed at what I'm looking at right now. They have a Derek Jeter's dating diamond. Wow.
so Nick.
Okay.
I'm looking for an image of Nick Cannon, something that might make it easier for me to see because it's all it looks like they're all written out. Even if I could find a list, but I'm gonna start with a few. I'll give you a couple.
Well,
Mariah
well,
Carey,
well. Here's the
Mariah
thing.
Carey,
Yes, and guess where she's at in Derek Jeter's lineup?
where?
She's in left field.
Oh, okay, I see what you talk about when they said a diamond, like a
She's in
baseball
left
diamond.
field. Literally, she's in left field. And to be fair to this conversation, Derek Jeter had her first. but Nick Cannon has kids with her. So
Kim Kardashian.
okay, I'll give you who's in center field. No, I'll give you who's in right field for Derek Jeter. You said
Okay.
Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
I see you. I raise you with Jessica Biel.
Okay. All right. Christina Milian.
I give you who's in center field. Jessica Alba.
Oof. Oh. starting. It's starting to get spooky out here. All
Oh my god! Oh my
right.
gosh!
Yeah, you might be right. I think Derek Jeter might have it.
Oh, and I didn't even finish yet. Guess
I mean,
who's
there's more. I'm looking for a
guess
better.
guess who's lining up to bat? And we're talking about prime 90s. One and only Tyra Banks.
Oh, okay.
Then,
So Nick got Bernice Burgos.
eh, no, there's nothing for me. Nothing to my edification. Then, right?
Nick got
Then,
Nicole Murphy.
okay. Uh, at shortstop, we have Scarlett Johansson, the Black
Hold on.
Widow.
I got one for you. I got one. Nick got Megan Good.
Okay. Well, the rest of their Jeter joints are models. Like Jordana Brewster. I don't know if you've heard of her before.
Nick got Eva Marcel. She
Adriana
bad.
Lima. I don't Adriana Lima. I don't know if you've heard of her before either.
I have.
Uh,
Nick Nick
Hannah
Nick
Davis.
Nick got Nicole Scherzinger.
Hannah Davis. I don't know if you heard of her before. Mink,
Nick got Brandy.
Minka Kelly. I don't know if
Oh,
you heard of her before either.
Heidi
Vanessa
Klum.
Manoa.
Heidi
Vanessa
Klum.
Manoa. And the crazy thing about this is these are the women that we know Derek Jeter wiped up. Derek Jeter probably smashed Brandy too, respectfully. It was the 90s.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. You're right. You're right.
I know.
That might
I
be.
know.
That's a question. We got to ask the world that. That's when we'll come back to that. We're gonna come back to that. Well, we're gonna ask the world that. That's gonna
Stickmen.
be.
I think those are two of the world's greatest stickmen of our culture. Derek Jeter and Nick Cannon. Gotta be. Gotta be. Respectfully.
They got some rosters.
Shout out
Derek
to the
Jeter.
dude. Shout out to the dude from Philly that does the smash or not thing on IG. I don't know his name, but I think he's from Philly. His shit is
Oh
funny.
yeah, 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 yeah. I was looking at
I
another one. He
know.
did a new one tonight. I think I sent it in the chat.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Offset got to be seen, yo. If he's really doing what he said he was doing, he's got to be seen. I'm gonna just
With Stephon Diggs.
yeah,
Stephon Diggs
Stephon.
in New England. How you feel about that?
Um, I guess it depends who they draft.
Mm.
Depends who they draft. Like if they draft Travis Hunter, are they gonna line him up at wide receiver? Now you got Diggs to help Hunter get better at wide receiver. Now you also have two good targets for Drake May. Like now, do you go offensive line to protect this guy for the rest of the draft? Like how does that look? I think it could work. And also it depends on how healthy he comes back from his injury
He's old. He's getting old in football age.
in football age,
So
yeah.
yeah.
But um,
I hope he don't do shit. I mean, I'm a Jets fan, so fuck him.
of course, you're supposed to hate him.
Hmm.
Um, you're supposed to hate him. NFC
And that
East
is
has all NFC East has all black quarterbacks right now.
that's dope. It's pretty dope. Shout
Dak
out to Dak.
Prescott,
Shout out to
Dak
Dak for
Prescott.
being the general in that. You know I love Dakota. I love
Yeah,
Dakota. So
you got Dak. You got why can't I remember the Eagles quarterback?
Jaden Daniels,
You got Jaden
Jalen
Daniels
Hurts,
for Washington, Jalen Hurts, and then you got two on the Giants, which is
Russell Wilson,
surprising,
and Jameis.
and Jameis. James
Yeah,
is probably the blackest of all of them. He's still crab legs.
it is James the Blackest of all of them. You might be right. I think Jaden Daniels is second because his mom is a fucking cock blocker. Cock blocking on Juju. Cock blocking on Juju. Why
I
would
don't
you
think
do this?
she don't know who Juju is. That's what it is. Shout out
That's
to
what it
Juju,
was.
man. Hopefully she get back from that ACL.
She was cock blocking on Juju. But she's the type of mom, and I've said this in other circles. I get your point. You don't want nobody sinking their teeth into your kid. But Juju's a millionaire, just like your son.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
should
I don't
want
think she.
to you should want to entertain that. But maybe she didn't really know Juju. But she's also the type of mother that thinks that her son is her boyfriend.
I
That's her
think
boyfriend.
Ju. I think Juju might have made more than Jaden Daniels last year. Like with I mean,
It's
she had
possible. With
her
NIL,
NI her NIL, but she had. I mean, I want to say she was on State Farm. I think she was on T-Mobile. Like Juju was making it last year before Jaden Daniels even became a thing. So yeah, shout out to Juju, man. I fucks with her. You know, she's my favorite. Outside, I mean, you know, my girl Paige buckets though. Paige, oh,
Paige Buckets.
Paige only slightly uh edges out Juju for me because Paige is white, but she got the black girl man. Like fuck out of here. Like she'll say fuck out of here on the court. Like Paige, I fuck with Paige, yo.
Paige is a
She got
dog, yo.
she got the old
Paige
school
is a
half
dog.
cornrow joints that stop right up top. Like, yeah, yeah,
Paige is a dog, yo. My girl
yeah.
is Flage from LSU. I like Flage.
Paige
Um,
put up 40 last night, yo.
unanswered by herself. She had like a 19-0 run by herself. Some
Yeah,
crazy shit. Oh shit,
yeah.
I pulled away from
She put up 29 in the second half, and Oklahoma scored 23 in the second half. She put up
shout out
29
to
herself.
shout out to Gino Oriema though, to to have to coach a group of women like he has the patience of a saint.
Yeah. They play USC tomorrow, which is a shame because I would have loved to see Paige
Juju
and
versus
Juju go.
Paige. Ugh.
Yeah. But now I'm all about UConn. Now I'm all about UConn. So
South Carolina
um
got something to say. Don't shout out to Coach Staley. I love her. She's phenomenal, man. Coach
they got
Staley,
they got Duke tomorrow.
phenomenal. Ooh,
Or
Duke
today.
women,
They
Duke
play Duke
women
today
ain't,
at 1.
Duke women ain't like that. Duke women ain't like the men. Historically, they have not been. I don't know what they got now, but historically, Duke women have not been equivalent to the men. In ACC history, and shout out to my own girl Cheryl. North Carolina has typically reigned supreme for the ACC. But I got
Yeah.
a homegirl that played in '96 versus Holsclaw and all of them, and her daughter now plays for Boston College, man. And it kind of chokes me up because like, damn, to see your kid go full circle like she's been watching, it's kind of dope, like super dope.
Tomorrow we get UConn USC at 9 o'clock. It's a night game. That's gonna be a good game. UCLA LSU today at 3. Duke and South Carolina today at 1. And TCU in Texas tomorrow at 7. So
Texas,
doubleheader tomorrow
I,
night.
I like that TCU versus Texas game. Texas Christian University, the Horned Frogs. They've always felt like they're the little brother of Texas. That Texas Lady Longhorns team is pretty damn good, but that's basically in-state rivalry. So I'm gonna watch that game. I think that game might be the most entertaining. Unless Texas just blows them out the water, then okay.
I
But
think
did you?
UConn is gonna run USC out the gym.
Oh, they're
Without
gonna.
it just because they don't have Juju. Otherwise, I think
They're
it'd be
gonna
a
kill.
closer game. But I
They're
think they're
gonna
gonna
kill.
run him out the gym. They're gonna run him
They're
out the
gonna kill.
gym.
Let me
I
ask
think
you
it's another
something.
year for Gino, man.
Him and Dawn, if they're on opposite brackets, are
They are.
all right.
They
That's that. There it is. There it is.
they are.
There it
Collision
is.
course. So you got
Yep,
UConn, South Carolina,
yep, yep. For my ladies' Final Four.
or
Um,
championship.
Let me ask you something. Okay, I had to check to see if Florida actually pulled it out last night versus Texas Tech. But my bracket is busted. The one bracket that I did for the office is busted, but my other one is still going. You know I'm a Gators fan for most things. But the Gators look like they're gonna win it all. I thought
They
St.
should.
John's was gonna do it, but I also picked University of Houston, but I think Florida's gonna win it all.
I'm not completely off of Cooper Flag potentially getting it done for Duke.
I think they
Not com-
lose.
not completely off of Cooper Flag getting it done. Cooper, they got I don't know.
They played last night.
Yeah, they
Okay.
beat up on Alabama, 85-65.
I got money that they'll lose. I'm pretty confident they'll lose.
I don't know. We'll see.
But Cooper Flag is good.
Let me ask you a question. VP just joined us. Welcome to the pod. This is probably a good spot for VP to
Is
join.
that Dick Gregory?
Is that Velvet? Uh, no. You know what? VP look like his mama named him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay.
I'm gonna call him Clay.
Let me
What's,
Muhammad Ali.
what's
Taste
going
the
on?
soup.
I'm gonna ask you guys a question. There's this thing that's been going around the internet. The most recent person to respond to it was Waka Flocka, who is a Trump supporter, so fuck him. But if you got your kid and your wife and y'all are on a boating trip, your
Mm,
kid and your wife both fall off the boat
mm.
and you can only save one, who are you choosing?
I
The
know you
kid.
ain't asking. I know you ain't asking me. I mean, y'all are the ones that have known y'all wives for a significant amount of time. I feel like that would be a hard choice for y'all.
Be the kid.
I mean, TJ can swim though.
Well, I'm assuming the
don't
scenario
think,
doesn't is
don't
not factoring that kind of stuff in.
Yeah, let's
Uh,
not factor TJ at 18, 19 years old in college now. Let's
I was fucking. I was fucking with him. TJ,
let's
TJ is the savior at this point.
yeah, he
He can
probably saved
swim.
both
He's
of them.
big. Yeah, he's big. Yeah, but you got to factor that in though, because at my age, because you talking about, I haven't had a wife in 10 years, so I don't know.
You could still put yourself into a hypothetical situation, like call it your
No,
firstborn, and
nope,
the kid was
nope,
6 months, or
I
nope.
mean, that's like the whole point of hypotheticals. Like, when people say, like, if you won a lottery, what would you do? You don't be like, well, I don't play the lottery, so I can't answer this.
right. I don't really have that much money, so I couldn't tell you what I would do.
Now that you kind of have to tell yourself that to keep yourself from fucking playing it endlessly every day. But
There's only one
yeah,
answer to this question, dog. Anybody that says, and I've seen people, oh well, we could always make another kid. It's the kid, dog. Like you
Yeah,
save the kid, and also because your wife probably would want you to save the kid. You
that's
got to
exactly
think
what
of
I was going to say.
and
like I
bitch,
don't
you
think.
need to know how to swim.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to swim, so it would probably
Steve,
be
you
the
don't know
other
how to
way
swim.
around. No, I don't know how to swim.
Well,
Steve, I've known you my entire life. I just assumed you knew how to swim.
I don't know how to swim,
How the
sir.
fuck were you an Eagle Scout and you don't know how to swim?
You don't have to get the swimming merit badge to be an Eagle Scout.
Oh, you cheated the system,
Just
you
like I
rat
don't have to know
bastard.
how to swim to have a pool.
Yo, you have a I'm done.
well,
I'm logging off. I'm logging off. You own a pool, you should know how to swim, you rat bastard. Is your pool in ground or above ground? I can't remember.
It's in ground. What kind of you think I'm poor?
You got an in ground pool and you don't know how to swim. You got a yeah.
What are you talking about, dog? Like
Nikki just
above
pushed
ground pool.
Nikki just pushed this nigga in one day. Just
If
put
I
how the How the
I could
fuck do you not know how to swim?
I could save myself in a pool. I just don't think I could save myself
Vari, Vari, Vari,
in the
did you know
ocean.
he can't swim?
No, I didn't know that.
What the fuck? You're not even American, bro.
I could swim in a 6 foot pool. I just can't swim in an ocean or a
Yo,
lake.
Vari, I've known this man my entire life. I did not know this fucker can't swim. This
Yeah,
whole time I could have killed him a long time ago.
that's
I
crazy.
would look, you gotta save the kid. And in this case,
That
even if it were I would want
that
my kid saved.
that's why you asked this question because you can't swim.
Let me ask you the flip side of it, because I think women love harder than men. I really do. I think women love far harder than men. Do
Debatable.
you think if you put that position on a woman, do you think she's saving the man or because
Okay.
I've been reading a lot
Let's
of the
not
comments
She's
section.
let's stop the
she's saving the
bullshit. That's
kid.
not a good question. Saving the
Yeah,
kid.
yeah. She's saving the kid.
In
It's not even
fact,
close.
yeah. In fact, her logic is, well, he should be okay.
Yeah.
She'll
But
fucking be out on the beach with the kid, right, safe and sound for 5 hours and be like, oh, where's your dad? I
forgot
thought he was
something.
okay. No, he got hit by the fucking debris of boat that went by y'all, and he was floating unconscious next to you for 2 hours. No, they don't give a fuck. Are you kidding me?
That's
Yeah,
true.
I
No,
think
We saw that in the Titanic.
yeah.
she let the man die.
Fuck you,
Yeah,
Rose.
I don't think it's a question. I think of the woman would save the kid.
You would think
Like
that. You would think that because they have that connection, that 9 month connection. But as I'm reading these comment sections, you would be surprised how many women, especially black women, are in these comment sections talking about, I will save my husband. That baby, we can make a new one.
Well, a baby versus the kid that you know. Now, if it's an infant, I don't know how you're gonna turn out. You might be a piece of shit, or you might die from like some weird shit.
I'm still saving my kid.
The
right.
baby though, I'm talking
Day
about like the
two.
baby. Nah, I'm
All
not.
The only time that I could envision like letting a child go to save the wife,
I,
the spouse, girlfriend is
I don't think
while
I'm realistic.
during pregnancy, because then the logic of you can have another child, it makes more sense like in my head. But when when you're talking about like a kid that's already been born, like the attachment is instant. You know what I'm saying? So
What about an infant though? That's kind of like
still,
days old.
still no.
Yeah, fuck them kids.
you
I
know,
don't I
that's a
don't know how they're gonna vote later in life. You know, I might they might I might have burnt the fucking Republicans. I don't know.
but that's a tough situation too. Even the during birth or pregnancy, like
That's tough.
that's a tough
Nah,
situation to think about. Like for me,
it's
it
not.
might still
It's
be the
not.
kid.
It's not.
It's
You
not.
gotta take your wife
And
easily.
I'm telling you that it's not only because I've had to make it. So it wasn't even a close call for me.
I might still have to take the kid.
I'm telling
And
you
and
that
and,
I'm telling you I'm getting rid of the newborn. So fuck both of y'all.
and granted, that's a conversation that I would think you would have. But what about, all right? You said it's it's the wife. You guys say it's the wife. What if your wife says during pregnancy, if this happens, save the kid? Are you
Well,
granting her wishes? Are you
that's
granting
where
her wishes,
VP
or are you going to
no,
be selfish?
that's what VP has said a lot of times, and I love giving him quotables. Sometimes, you got to do what the people don't know is good for them. And I'm paraphrasing, but you gotta be the government in that situation and do what's best for the people, even when they don't know what's good for them.
Yeah,
Right, VP?
yeah,
You
I
niggas
agree.
is just y'all just selfish. Y'all don't want to be single dads.
No, it's not. It's not that. It's just.
I
I
am a
mean,
single dad.
if you think about it, if
Exactly.
you think about it, right? If you're in that kind of situation where you have to make that kind of call, it's not about being selfish or being a single dad. You could be bringing a child in that's going to have developmental issues, that's going to have health problems or whatever from whatever's going on, with the wife. In this case, you know, uh, um, you are literally making a decision to save technically a stranger, over your partner. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of the way that I look at it or whatever, because you know, I'm how do I want to say this? I don't view like fetuses the same way some people do, where they're like, oh, from conception and things like that. You know what I mean? So I think to make the choice to save your spouse is much easier than it is to save an unborn child.
Did y'all see Why Did I Get Married?
Yeah.
Y'all seen how Janet Jackson, I don't know why I can't remember their character names, but how Janet Jackson and Tyler Perry, they he hated her because of them losing their child. I want to say it was a car accident, if I remember correctly.
It was a car accident. It wasn't Tyler Perry. It was Malik Yoba's character.
That's who it was. Yoba, Malik. Do you think that down the line there's a potential for a husband to blame his wife for losing their child because her body couldn't have that child?
I think it depends, right? Because in that situation, right, there's a couple of things happening where, one, she didn't buckle the child into the car seat correctly. So when they had the car accident, that's how the kid ends up dying, because her negligence. But then also because she how do you say the word compartmentalize? I can't talk.
Compartmentalized.
Compartment. Yeah, there you go. That word.
Compartmentalized.
Because compartmentalized, because she did that, she wasn't allowing him to properly grieve with her, and then she's not properly grieving. And I think the fact that they're not grieving is what causes the friction
Trust.
in that relationship.
Facts.
No, nigga. No. I think that there is a potential, and I'm taking the movie out of it. What I'm saying is, I think there's a potential for a man to make the decision to save his wife or his baby mom or whatever you want to call it during childbirth, and then down the line he could blame her and subconsciously dislike or hate her and that relationship not work out.
I think that could happen, but I mean, you used the movie, so I'm just saying what I think was happening in the movie itself, where it was not like an apples to apples to what you're saying. You have a situation where they're
I'm
not
saving my kid.
grieving properly. Yeah, I would save the kid at the end of the day,
I'm saving my kid in every situation, and I hope that,
because
I would expect my wife to do the same.
yeah, my kid's mom would want the kid saved. I mean, if I had to guess, we both would be trying to save the kid at the same time, and then it'd just be whichever one of us got to the kid first, or what, So,
did you guys get to see? I know you haven't, so I'm going to just tell you: go to Netflix and watch Adolescence.
I did watch it. I did watch it.
4 episodes, really three and a
And,
pop.
and you
We'll
know
call
what's
it three and a
crazy?
pop.
No, it was a good three. You're right. The good first three was the most compelling. The fourth one was like, okay. But I was sitting next to my lady, and I said, you know who was really like this shit? My cousin Steve, because he's not an old dad because his son is young, but he's a dad, and he takes being a dad to a boy very seriously. And when my man, the guy that played in Boardwalk Empire, I don't know his name, but he's an English actor, British actor. You know, when he was breaking down, and I'm spoiling, not without spoiling, but when he's breaking down as a father of this whole scenario. So let me say real quick, VP,
It's personal blame.
real quick. A kid is accused of murder. We don't know what's going on. Cool. But the father in the scenario is looking at his son that he loved to death. He poured into. I mean, the mom and the daughter, they're like it's fucked up. But the dad is like, "Are you shitting me?" You know what I mean? I thought about Steve immediately. I swear to God, I thought about Steve immediately.
Yeah, there's really no way you could spoil it because of the way it ends. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Yeah.
you can't, nothing you could say could spoil it. But I would say, like, first of all, the kid that played Jamie is gonna be a hell of an actor.
Oh, I said the same thing. He's one of them ones. He is one of them
He's
ones.
already there. He is
One of them ones, yo.
already there, yo. This
He's
kid,
one of them ones.
forget about it. Forget about it. We're gonna see him for the rest of our lives
Yeah.
acting.
Yeah.
Like, the one criticism I do have of the show is from episode 2, and a lot of people had criticism on episode 4. I feel episode 4, because as the dad, right? Like you're saying, as the dad, I think that whole episode was about him. I think that whole episode is about the dad. Um, and emotionally, as a dad, that show throws you in so many different places. I think as a parent in general, but as a dad, it can throw you in 100 different ways. Um, the criticism I have of it, and I'll wait till VP watches it so we can really dissect it a little bit more. But the criticism I have is that from 2 to 3, it it's like they fast forwarded it. So because you go where the end of 2, it's still like, man, this poor kid. He's how is he gonna adjust?
Mm-mm.
How's he? And then
Mm-mm.
episode 3, he's like, it's like, all right,
He's shit.
we fast forwarded, and now he's like super comfortable, like, what up, bitch, type shit.
Psychopath. He's a sociopath. The kid is a sociopath. And it really tests you without
I don't
giving
know
up
if
too
I
much.
I don't know if I agree there, yo.
No, I'm
I,
I'm telling you, he's if all right, I don't want to
the
give up
kid
too much,
just
but
the kid just wanted to be liked, yo. He just
no,
wanted to be liked.
but he literally has a power struggle, power dynamic that he's a sociopath. And as a parent, going back to the dad part, without saying too much, you look at yourself as a parent. It makes you reflect as a parent to remember no matter what we do for these kids, they're gonna be the humans that they decide they want to be. Sure,
Jamie
a lot
Jamie
of what we did is a lot of what we do influences who they're gonna become, but that kid made his life what it was.
Jamie is my spirit animal, yo. Jamie is my spirit animal in a
Or
way.
you need to watch him, Vari. He's crazy.
Yeah.
In a
But I
in a
mean,
sense. Not fully. I would
the
just go ahead.
no, I was gonna say the point that EJ just made is just the right one. You know, we do what we can to like influence them, and then they kind of become who they want to be, and we just hope that that the stuff that we instill sticks. You know,
Oh, of course.
yeah,
You're gonna be a great parent, and either you're gonna raise a kid that, sniffs blow, and gets caught
Or
with guns, and you could be the best person ever. Or
Michael Irving's son that's out here acting like they grew up in Opalaka all this time and
hmm
no.
or you could be a deadbeat and they turn out to be LeBron James.
yeah,
Shout out to LeBron for that.
I would say go watch it, yo. If I know VP you haven't
Speaking
watched it,
of,
and I'm sure that if you're listening and you have not watched Adolescence, it's being talked about heavily. It's a very quick watch. It's 4 episodes. Hell of a show. I think they did well with it. A lot of people
I
don't
was
like the
disappointed.
ending.
I was disappointed in the ending a little bit. I was.
I think it could have been better, but I I kind of get what was going on. I kind of get what's going on, and we'll just leave it there. You guys been watching anything else? You finished Love
For,
Island?
for me, the only thing new that I've watched is Severance, and I know it's been out for a while. I've been wanting to watch that show from the jump, but I just never got around to it. And season 3 just finished. I'm like in the middle of season 1. The show starts very slow, but
Super slow.
the
Extremely
concept
slow.
is, I already was feeling the concept, so that I was good. I'm really I'm not sure how much of it y'all watched or whatever, but did y'all watch it? Like,
I
I
got to
watched the
season.
2 episodes. I didn't watch
I
it.
got I got to season 1 where he goes and meets the guy that used to work there in like
oh, okay,
some
yeah,
factory or underground building or some shit.
yeah.
That's as
So
far
I'm
as I
I'm
got.
probably like 3 episodes past that or whatever, so I'm not too far off where you made it. But yeah, what's it's just like the concept is, I think, is so um it's so interesting, you know what I mean? Because like if you think about it, like we all have jobs, and the majority of people who work, you spend more time with your work people than you actually do with your own family. You know what I mean? Because you're at work 8-10 hours a day. You're at home more time, but the majority of the time you sleep. You know what I'm saying? So you literally spend more time at work than you do with your own family or whatever. And the fact that you can have relationships in work and like not know anything about what's happening outside in the outside world, like in your own personal life or whatever, is like that shit is wild to me, yo. Like, and the thing that kind of brought that home to me was a few weeks ago, my manager came into town, and she hit us up, and all of us who work here in Central Florida, like, hey, I'm going to be in town. You guys want to meet up because we've never met in person or whatever.
Right.
And so we went out to a restaurant and had lunch. My manager, her husband, her daughter, and then the Orlando office people. And
She got them things.
no.
Oh.
And
Okay.
so my homegirl from work, the one I always talk about, who listens to the pod and stuff like that.
Audi.
I try not to use her name, but yeah.
Oh.
So this freaking guy. But
you've said it 100 times on here.
I'm pretty sure I haven't, because I always say my homegirl from work.
No.
I'm pretty sure he hasn't.
You've said it.
No.
In fact, she's
He always says
commented
my
in the chat
homegirl.
at times with her name.
She's commented in the chat, but I don't ever say her name. I always say my homegirl from work. So
Well, Steve said
like,
it for you.
right. I don't even use my own name on here, so why would I use somebody else's?
Actually, we use your name all the time. We
Y'all
don't say
use my name,
your
I
own
know.
name,
So,
yeah, well,
but
fuck you.
but anyway, so when we get there,
You say your
like,
brother's name.
we
Oh,
pull
all
up.
the time. Steve, I'm kind of drunk too.
We pull up at the same
That
time
means
that
we need
she.
to start hitting our final
No, we don't need to
descent.
land anything. I'm here,
You
baby.
know,
We're an hour and a half in. I'm here, baby. Let's go.
We pull up to the restaurant at the same time that she does,
where'd y'all
and
eat?
so at this place called the Porch, it was like a little, like a sports.
Oh, I
bar
like
kind
that
of
I
place.
place.
like that. I like that place.
Yeah,
It's over
I
in
had
Highland
a.
Park.
That's what Nikki told me to go.
We went to the one that's downtown, but or
Oh,
just past downtown, South Orange.
Oh, there's
I
one
didn't
in
know they had one
downtown.
there.
Yeah,
Me neither.
I ordered a Cuban sandwich from there, and man, it came with some kind of sauce. I don't know what was in that sauce, but that shit was delicious. But but anyway, so we get to the parking lot at the same time, right? Me and her. And so we got out of the car, and my wife introduces her to Tiff's boyfriend, right? And she's like, "Hey,"
Oh,
she's
y'all all
like,
went.
"Yeah, because we don't drive, so we needed them to drive us or whatever." So when she introduces her, she's like, "This is Vari's work wife." So,
Who introduced you to her? Who did that?
my wife.
Oh, Aaron, you gotta stop,
So
yo.
so
Aaron
so
diabolical, yo.
when I started watching the show Severance,
But she don't like guys though, right?
who? No, she's married. She's married with kids.
Oh, I thought she was the lesbian that used to live in the apartment complex with you. They used to carpool with.
No, that's a different chick.
Oh, my bad. Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead.
that's that. Yeah, that's a different chick.
I
I've
was gonna
never
say
heard of
that's
that
why.
one.
I was gonna say that's why she's
Never heard
comfortable
of that
saying
one.
that.
Yeah, I've
You
never
don't
heard
need
that
to
So
one.
know. You don't need to
so
know
when I
that.
so when I started watching the Severance show, the girl, the redhead girl in the show says to him, "Wait a minute. So like we could have our outside person could be married with a family, whatever, and you could have like a relationship with somebody at work or whatever, and like not even know, you know." And they're like, "Yeah, I mean, pretty much." And I was like, "Yo, that's crazy, yo." You know what I'm saying? Like it's the whole concept of the show is just it's amazing to me. So I see why people like it. I get why people think it's slow and they may be bored or whatever, but like I've enjoyed it so far.
It is slow, and I kind of wish it was like that because, like, I'm a complete different person outside of work than I am at work. Like, I be code switching. I get to
Yeah,
work and I am like the skit that Key and Peele did where Obama does, certain
and
handshakes with the black people, and then
yeah.
when he gets to the white person, it's like, "Hey, how you doing? Great to see you." You know, like that is really me. So I wish that the people from my job didn't recognize me if
Yeah.
they were to see me in person. But
So and then that black guy in the show, I really like him. The first time I ever saw him was in an episode of Succession in season 2, and the way like he did a phenomenal job. He was only in that one episode, but the way the episode ends, one of the main people was like, "Hey, I was at this thing. I found this guy. He's a diamond in the rough. I want to fast track him or whatever." And so you're left thinking like, "Oh, this dude is gonna be doing more stuff. I can't wait to see what happens with his character." And that's the last time you see him. So, but now that he's in Severance, I'm seeing him more, and I'm like, "Yo, I'd love this dude. Yo, he's a good actor." So I can't wait to like see more about his character. But other than that, I mean, I've been watching that. Um, we got a White Lotus. White Lotus has been. I don't know if you watched it all this season, Steve. It's been so slow. Like
no,
nothing happened until like last episode, which was episode 6, I want to say, because the season's only 8 episodes, and
right.
so we got 2 more weeks left tonight and next week, and then it's done. But this season has been extremely slow. Um,
I have not watched it.
Righteous Gemstones is back on. This season is the series finale. So this is season 4. That show is
That's
funny as hell.
that's a comedy, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a comedy with Jesse McBride where they're like a religious family. They run a mega church, and none of them are like really religious or whatever. So
Oh, so like Republicans.
yeah, pretty much. But it's funny as hell with Jesse McBride, John Goodman. Super super funny show. So this is the series finale on that, but season 4 just kicked back off. Yeah,
I've heard a lot of people talk about Righteous Gemstone. In fact, you've
yeah,
talked about it a lot. But
yeah. I've been watching it from the beginning. I love that show.
EJ, you been watching anything else? So you guys didn't
Um,
watch Love Island then on
no,
Netflix,
but
at least
I
the new.
saw the previews.
No,
Uh, I've been watching Reacher, which ended. I think they butchered this whole season. That shit was terrible. Um, 'Cause I have weekly shows that I watch, like the Chicago PDs and SWAT and All American. Shout out to All American, right? All American is like
Damn, you
with
still
the
watching that?
kid. Yeah, and they have the whole new season where it's not about Spencer no more, and they've created a whole new soap opera in front of us. So shout out to them. But I haven't been watching anything new outside of that I could think of. I did watch uh, some random movie with a Valentine's Day thing. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah,
Told you,
I think
your whole life done changed since you got a little relationship going.
yeah,
Different
no, for
bars,
sure.
different TV.
No, different. I keep telling you, different bars ain't the same. I would go to the same places. I think. I think I'm gonna ask her after we get off the pod, to go. I'm gonna go see if I can get her to go out somewhere real quick because my oldest is here, her son is here, so they can watch themselves. You know, that
Wait,
means I
what?
don't. I mean, the kids can watch themselves, like not have to
No,
watch.
I just put it together. I thought you said my oldest is here, her son is here. I'm thinking like, when the fuck did your oldest have a kid?
Oh no,
Like,
no, no,
okay,
no. She,
I
no,
got it. I'm tracking now.
no, you with me, and yeah, but as a dad, and I kind of value you guys a lot more than I give you credit for, especially you, Bart, because
Oh, he drunk. He drunk. Here comes the I love you. Yo,
nah,
you my dog. I love you.
I wasn't gonna say that. He's still a Dolphins fan. Fuck him. But
That's true. He's a scum.
yeah, he's a Dolphins fan, scumbag. But my oldest is 16. Oh, and recently. So if you want to have the eventful conversations this week, oh, I'm dialed in. So this Thursday, right? Now, mind
There you
you,
go.
I have my kids every other day, every other weekend, right? So Monday is my day. It's the busiest day of their lives. They have dance practice, cheer practice, school, cool. Then Wednesday, also dance practice, chair practice, busy. So Thursday, my mom, who's 70 something years old, she's still here. God bless her, right? She's like, yo, I'm going to a game night. I'm not gonna be able to pick the kid up. Now, normally on a Thursday, I don't have to worry about them because it's not my day for me to get them. But because my oldest is beefing with their mother, my oldest child is beefing with her mother so bad, she hasn't gone home to her. She stays with me, and I'm cool with that. So this week, I get an email from her high school, and they're like, "Oh, we've called you. We've attempted to reach you. Your child has been in an incident." I said, "What? Ain't nobody called me, and I'm working from home. Ain't nobody called me. They called the mom. They couldn't get her." So long story short, my high school sophomore child got into an incident with a boy over a pencil. And I said, while I respect you for standing up for yourself, but you fell asleep in class and you don't know what happened to your pencil. And you got into a fight over your pencil. And I'm fortunate that this boy, that's much bigger than you, didn't hurt you. Because I'd have to kill him and his parents. But I'm
Yeah.
happy that you defended yourself.
Did she win?
No. Well,
Oh,
he didn't,
he didn't
he took it
engage.
easy on her. He took it easy on her. He's a big kid. I seen him. He's a big kid. And I'm like, yo, he could have pounded you out or at least made it a scrap for you. And I asked her, because of all my three children, I think my oldest is the softest one. My middle one, my middle one is like, she's like me. She's gonna like think about it. My baby, that little child has punched me before. I felt like I've been hit by a man, a small man.
Yeah.
I'm
It
not
always
even
seems
lying.
like the youngest be the ones that's always ready to strap.
Yo, she like she be like, "What you say, Dad?" I'm like, "What?" She hit me. I'm like, "You little nigga! Oh, I'm about to beat you. I gotta take the belt off." She hits me. It feels like a small man hit me. So
It's
when
because
I look,
the youngest lived through all my life. I had to fight. Like they always got to
yeah,
fight the oldest. All the
yeah,
time.
yeah. So I say that to say I worry about my oldest the most because I think she's the most vulnerable. I think my middle one is the most likely to shoot up. Uh, I'm not gonna say that. I think she's the most emotionally unstable. And the baby, I think she's. If they tell me she broke somebody's nose, I would not be surprised. Yeah.
You guys need to watch $1 Million Secret. It's a new
What
show
the
on
fuck is that on?
Netflix. Uh, it's a new show on Netflix. It's kind of like The Trust and like
Oh, I
Um,
saw that. I saw that.
traders and shit like that, where basically there's, I want to say there's 12 of them. I could be wrong, might be less, but anyway, somebody starts with 1 million, and you got to try to make, they vote at the end of every episode to vote somebody off who they think is the millionaire, and you have to make them believe you don't have the million if you have the million through different competitions and through dialogue and stuff like that. So it's one of them reality joints. I started last night. I got through, I think, 3 episodes. Yeah, I think it was like three
Mhm.
episodes. Then I fell asleep because I'm old and washed, and I did yard work yesterday, so you know, takes it out of you.
Yeah.
Takes it out of you. But definitely a good show to watch. That and most recent season, obviously, I told you last week also of Love Island and Adolescence. Go watch that shit. Adolescence is good. It is good. I just, what? The one other thing that they show, like on the cover, the black dude, right?
My
The
man,
cop,
Shane.
whatever his name is. But we only get him basically for 2 episodes. After that, we don't see him again.
But he's a huge British actor, and right. Shout out to 50 Cent because his first big appearance on screen was Get Rich or Die Trying. Do you remember him, Steve?
No.
He was in Get Rich or Die Trying. He was 50 Cent's friend, Antoine, that got shot that ended up in the wheelchair
Mm.
and Get Rich or Die Trying. And then since then, we've seen him in the Top Boy and all of that. So I don't know his real name, but shout out to him.
Yeah, they made him the cover art, and you only saw him for half of the show. And the second episode, well, I guess you see him a lot in the second episode. Then it slows down for him at least. Then the third episode was high energy, yo.
It
That
was.
shit was high. That shit was high energy.
It
Um,
was.
go watch that shit, VP. It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's been number one on Netflix in TV shows all week. So
Yeah, I have to check it out.
people gonna start spoiling it.
How VP, how is CJ doing, yo?
EJ or
T-
TJ, yeah.
He's
Sounded
he's
like you
good,
said
man.
CJ.
He's good. He school's going good for him or whatever. Bowling, he's having a little bit of a struggle. So
mm.
yeah.
Oh shit! Tell him come bowl with me. I'll teach him a thing or two.
Mm.
So
Does he have a girlfriend yet?
nah. Well,
Not that they
he
know of.
yeah. He told his aunt when he went to Wisconsin for Thanksgiving he got somebody he's talking to, but he hasn't told us nothing.
Oh, my dog,
So
my crew, my dog. Yeah, ooh.
Say
He about to.
look.
He about to.
Okay.
He about to. Pop VP coming right on up.
Chill. Chill. We don't need no grandchildren.
Well, that could be why his bowling is letting up because he don't got the
Nah.
strength in his legs. he, he getting weak in the knees out there.
yeah.
It's cool.
I bowl on Tuesdays, and if we get to it on Monday,
Sunday.
my
On
bowling
Sunday.
ain't no good. Now, usually if I got the full Monday, I'm good. But if I get to it on Monday, Tuesday, I can't get the lift in my legs like I need to. Whatever.
I need to get off these headphones. This shit keeps saying my batteries. Mm.
Yeah. Well, I got a hard stop coming up in a couple minutes anyway. I got somebody coming to spray. Do my
Wait, what?
I have a dude that does pest control, and
Mm.
I just have him come before every season change. Just make
Now,
sure none of them damn water bugs or shit pop up.
I was gonna say, I was gonna ask you because I know y'all got iguanas and shit.
Oh,
Like
we don't
having
have
iguanas.
iguanas.
I
We don't
or
have
lizards. I got
iguanas.
lizards or something, right?
We do
Lizards,
we
right?
do have lizards, but they don't cause no harm, and they don't really come
No,
in the house.
that's what I was say. I thought they were natural bug killers.
They might be. I mean, like, but they don't stop ants. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get ant
Oh
hills
yeah,
down
yeah,
here, especially now because it's so
yeah.
dry. So
Mm.
I just have them spray the crib so the ants don't come in,
Mm.
and so that we
Cause
don't see
y'all
nothing
having
else.
lizards is crazy. Like we don't have that shit here. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I
but they
fucking
low. They're not like biting lizards. They just like
no,
little.
I
What are they?
like them. I like lizards.
Geckos. They're geckos.
Geckos.
Yeah.
Facts, geckos.
Um.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. What Trump did this week?
Oh shit, I don't know. I've been like super checked out of politics since the election, man. This shit just annoys me. Like, you know, the biggest thing this week has been that the Signal group chat over the Yemen bombing or whatever.
Oh yeah,
Um, yeah, the shit.
it's crazy how that's not a big deal to them.
Yeah, and the thing that I always talk about how the media sucks, and like the media keeps talking about like, oh, they added this reporter to the thing, mistakenly or whatever. The problem is not the reporter. That's just, like cherry on top. The problem is that they are communicating over Signal, which is an app that is designed to delete communication. And then even
Yeah.
in when the reporter Jeffrey
Well, only if
Goldberg
you turn it
released,
on, because you could turn that
right,
off.
but they turned it on. And so in the when
Oh,
the
I got you.
reporter, because when he first wrote the story, he didn't release any details. He just said they texted me their war plans or whatever. And then they came out and was like, oh, he's lying, nobody sent him anything, blah blah blah. And then so the next day he put out the whole thread or whatever, and in it you can see that they turned on the feature for this thread to auto delete in 4 weeks.
Oh, it's a 4 week
And
thing. Yeah. See, I be
yeah, and
setting my shit
so
to 20 minutes. I
yeah,
mean,
so
I've heard people set their shit to 20 minutes.
and so the whole thing with the National Records Act and stuff like that is these communications are supposed to be saved.
Oh, okay.
Even the classified ones, they're saved. They're housed in a different system, but they're still saved. And then that way, it's for legal reasons, for history, whatever. But they're deleting this, which then begs the next question: is how prevalent is this in the administration? Because it's just the one we heard about. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And the whole point of them doing this shit is to get around records requests. So if the media, whoever, the Congress, whoever does like a FOIA request and say, hey, we want to see all the electronic communication between the Secretary of Defense and, whoever between this date and that date, when they send in the FOIA request, they're going to come back and say, oh, we don't have any records responsive to your request,
Right.
because they're using an app outside of the government that also auto deletes the messages. So this is the problem.
And it's encrypted from end to end.
No, it's not. Signal can be
Signal,
hacked.
it can be hacked.
The app may be encrypted. Your phone that is on is not.
Right. But Signal
Be-
as an app is encrypted.
right, but the problem is that they're not using Signal on like some kind of secure government device. They're using it on their personal devices because Signal is not allowed on government devices.
Like TikTok.
Right.
Like
So that
tickety
means they're
tock.
using their own personal phone, and if their phone has been compromised in any way, those communications can be seen. And on top of that, the dude, one of the people who was in the 18-person group chat, which is Trump's envoy to Russia, was actually in Russia when this happens. Russia's like is always like trying to tap Americans' phones and stuff, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, the whole thing is just bad. But people keep focusing on the fact that a reporter was in there versus them doing like communicating over this app and setting the text chain to auto delete is illegal.
Well, who's gonna stop them? We already
There's
talked.
the problem.
We talked about that earlier. Who's gonna stop them? So it don't really matter.
Yeah. So, but anyway, that's been happening. Trump already said, I saw a thing earlier today saying that he said he's not firing anybody, of course, because they didn't do anything wrong or whatever.
Right. I mean,
And then
who's gonna get access to their phones other than maybe like a 15-year-old boy that they're trying to have sex with or something? I mean, it's what Republicans do.
And then the other big thing that I think is going to be a bigger story in the next couple of weeks is Social Security. Elon Musk has gone into Social Security and started rat fucking it, and you're starting to see people miss checks. And this is Elizabeth Warren detailed this excellently, and she thinks that this is part of their plan to cut Social Security without actually having to pass cuts. And essentially what they've done is they've closed a bunch of local Social Security offices, right? And so in the scenario that Warren paints, she says, like, let's say you got a guy in rural Kentucky and they do some shit in the system that makes him not get his check. Now he tries to call, he can't get through the phone lines. All the phone lines are jam-packed. Plus, they're doing this shit where they're trying to make people come in person instead of doing the phones, because for some reason calling Social Security is inefficient, but they've closed the local office. So now he has to travel to wherever the office is open, like in a big city in Kentucky or something like that. He travels there. They fired all the people who work at Social Security. So now in this office that see people, maybe, there were 8-9 people who work there who see the foot traffic, but now there's only 2. Because this shit is happening all around.
Democrats are bitches.
Now this stuff is happening all around Kentucky, which means people are traveling to this city. So now you got 2 people dealing with a queue of 50, 75 people, which means they're not going to get to all of them in one day. Finally, by the time this guy has gotten seen, it's been 2-3 months. He's missed 2-3 checks or whatever. And legally, Social Security is not allowed to send out payments over $5,000. And so this part of the scenario, I'm not remembering correctly. I don't remember if he loses all of that money or he loses everything over $5,000. So like, let's say his Social Security is $2,000 a month. That means if he's missed 3 payments, if he only can get the $5,000 in back payment, that $1,000 is washed. You see what I'm saying? And this is how they're going to cut Social Security without actually passing actual cuts. And what's crazy is that, you guys know, in our own crib, my wife is on Social Security or whatever for due to disability. She got on it early. Mm-hmm. Typically, so Social Security pays out on the 3rd of the month, right? But usually we get her check like 28th, 29th, something like that. Haven't got it yet.
Just slow.
You know what I mean? And so now it's like I can call them first and like, hey, where the fuck's the check? I gotta wait until the 3rd because they're gonna be like, it's not even payday yet, But we gotta stay on top of this shit now just because we don't know what the fuck. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like, when your mortgage is due, your rent is due, your car note, whatever it is that you pay, you can't tell your landlord or your whoever you owe your car note to, hey, I mean, Social Security's fucked up. I'll get you next month. And they can be like, yeah, no problem, man. I feel you. I've been watching the news. I get it. No, they're going to repossess your shit. They're going to kick you out or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with this, because I always tell my brother when he says, I don't understand how like right-wing people who support Trump don't see this kind of stuff. I always explain to him, you got a right-wing communications ecosystem that essentially is lying to these people, telling them not to believe what they're seeing with their lying eyes. But now you literally have people's money not coming in, and it's going to be hard to try to tell them that, oh, no. Social Security's fine. You're actually getting paid. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. But the next few months with this Social Security shit is going to be very interesting.
It's not going to matter.
You said exactly what I was going to say about the last part. When that money slow up, what happens? But go ahead, Steve, my bad.
I was just going to say it's not going to matter, 1. And 2, this is what we've constantly said for years and said it earlier in this pod. Democrats are pussy. That's the
Democrats
difference
are divided.
between this is the difference between get down or lay down. This is the difference between the same conversation we had last week, right? Republicans are the Bloods, and Democrats are
No,
an organized
we're not.
organized
No, we're not
fraternity.
gonna do that. We're not.
Organized fraternity that they're going to get things right. They're going to find their brothers, jobs. They're going to do what's best for their brothers within the legal limits, right? The Republicans are Bloods. We going to get it how we live it. And y'all going to get down or lay down, or we going to take it. And the
Yeah, I mean,
Democrats, and here we are today, right? Democrats are trying to believe in the legal system, and Trump is like, "Fuck that legal system. What y'all gonna do to me?"
you're right.
I hearken back to the point where, it was always a thing about Joe Biden wanting to be bipartisan, wanting to do the things in the rules. There's been countless times on this pod, and anybody stop me and correct me if I'm wrong. We said, well, what executive power does Joe have to possibly just eliminate all student loans? The answer was always, I don't know. Trump has gone far to be like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm the guy that should just be doing whatever I don't know what I'm doing. And all we ask Joe to do is be like, yo, take care of us, man. Just do what, even if you don't know you could do it, just do it. Deal with the ramifications later. And Trump, being the fucking jerk that he is, here we are.
So,
He don't care, dog.
so I think that both of y'all are right. I would argue against what EJ is saying in just the fact that when
Think
what
about it before
Biden
you
would
say it. Think about it before you say it.
what Biden would say to what you're saying, EJ, is that
I want to be
I'm not
bipartisan.
gonna act
I work
I'm
across
not
the
gonna
aisle.
act outside of the law, right? Like
Yeah,
not even
and
the
we don't give a
bipartisan,
fuck.
right? But I mean, at the end of the day, like we're a nation of laws, right? And so you know people may
But
feel
no,
like Trump.
let's not misconstrue that though, because the executive laws of the president, while see what you're about to speak to speaks on tradition and what has traditionally happened. What we're seeing with Trump is non-traditional, not only because he's a dick and because he's a fascist and all these things, but because this nation has enjoyed prosperity with presidents doing things that are usually within the line of things, can we really say that if Biden canceled student loans and said fuck it, was really acting outside of the law? No. Or acting outside of the letter of the law? No. It just wouldn't be what a traditional president would do.
So what I would say to you on the student loans thing is that I think Biden actually had the power to cancel student loans, like all of them, like not all of them, all government loans, not the private ones. He was unwilling to go that far. So I think that he could have done that within the Heroes Act. Now it
But
went to court. The
when
court
we
the court
asked
stopped them.
about it, nobody said anything.
Yeah, no, I've said before I thought Biden could have gone further, but he chose to do the 20,000
Fuck
or
them
whatever.
federal loans.
So, but anyway,
Everybody.
my point is that what you see happening with Trump is that Trump is doing things illegally, right? And then saying, nobody's going to stop me because the Republicans in Congress aren't going to stop him, right? And they actually like a lot of what he's doing because one, they probably feel like he's doing shit that we've been wanting to do, but we not getting our hands dirty. It's all being blamed on him. And it ain't even really being blamed on him. A lot of people are blaming it on Elon, which I think is a mistake or whatever, because it kind of lets Republicans off the hook or whatever,
Right.
So like they fired all of these people, right? And then the people go to court and the court says, hey, you can't fire all those people, right? And then they say, okay, well, we're going to appeal that. So meanwhile, these people are still fired while we're pending the appeal. But in the meantime, while they're going through the legal process, they close the offices that these people work at, right? So even though these people are technically, not going to be fired according to the court, they don't got nowhere to go. You see what I'm saying? And so it's like they're doing shit like this and they're daring somebody to stop them because they know at the end of the day, the way that they're essentially using the government against itself, because the way that Trump is going to be stopped is if the Congress steps in and says, no, you can't do this, or if you continue upon this road, we're going to remove you from office. The Republicans are not going to do that. So the only way for Trump to be checked is if you get Democrats take back over Congress and actually check them. If for that to happen, it won't happen until January of 2027, because you got to have an election in 2026, and then the new folks who are elected take over in January of 2027. So at least for these 2 years, he's gonna go unchecked. You know what I'm saying? And so so yeah, but anyway, to the point that Steve makes about the Democrats, being pussy, whatever. I don't disagree with that. But I think part of the problem that you're having with Democrats is generationally, right? Because while you have like an old head like Bernie who's out there fighting, you see him doing this tour with AOC where they're getting people, amped up and talking about the things that we need to do. And they're trying to get their ideas to come to the forefront about actually doing shit for people. You have people like Chuck Schumer and the folks who are let's play it down the middle, let's try to be bipartisan and all this kind of shit like that. You have those folks who are actually still in charge right now. You know what I'm saying? And I think what people are starting to realize is that I think Jon Stewart did a thing on his show. I sent it to you guys in the chat. I don't know if y'all watched it, where he talked about how for years, the Democrats have been saying, we're in this moment right now. And when this fever breaks, right, in the Republican Party, it'll return back to normal. And then he plays clips of Barack Obama in 2010 talking about when the fever breaks. And then, Joe Biden saying it as Obama's VP, Hillary Clinton saying it as the Democratic nominee, Joe Biden saying it in 2020 as the nominee, Joe Biden saying it throughout his presidency, and then Kamala Harris saying it as the 2024 nominee, right? Once the fever breaks, the Republicans are going to return back to normal. And he's saying, Jon Stewart is saying, you guys need to get past this fever when the fever breaks bullshit and realize that this is the Republicans' normal resting temperature. There's no fever. This is where they live. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of goes that thing I always say, where you got to play the game you're in, not the game you want to be in. And Democrats keep pretending like this is 2008 Republican Party instead of the 2024 Republican Party. You know what I mean? And the people like AOC and Jasmine Crockett and Elizabeth Warren and Bernie and folks like that are dealing with today's Republican Party. But at the same time, they're fighting internally with Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer's and people like that, John Fetterman, who want to pretend like, when the fever breaks. You know what I'm saying? So the party has to have this internal battle that is going through right now to figure out the direction that we're going to go to do that.
Essentially saying the Democrats are having an internal civil war speak, and they can't even get it right. So we can't even depend on the people that we're supposed to depend on to get it right.
Well, that's going to work. That's going to work itself out. That's going to work itself out sooner rather than later. I think in the next, I would venture to say probably the next 2 to 3 months, I think this feud that's happening is going to come to a head, and one side is going to win out over the other. And then, depending on which side wins, that's going to determine how the party engages.
Well, we know who's going to win, and we know who's already won. Like, this isn't even a game that
I don't think so. And listen, let me tell you the reason. Let me tell you why the reason I don't think so, Steve, real quick before you go. When Chuck Schumer did this shit with giving the Republicans the votes for the government funding bill, Democrats were pissed. And you see Democrats in leadership like Jeffries.
But was he really alone? Did he?
No, he wasn't. It was him. It was him and eight other Democrats. But the point is that Chuck Schumer is the Democratic leader. It's not like his members did their own thing. They went off the reservation. The leadership endorsed this shit. Even though the vast majority of the Senate voted no, him and 8 other Democrats voted yes. But he's the leader, so he gets the most smoke for it, right? But after that happened, you have your normal milquetoast Democrats, backbenchers, people who want to play shit straight down the middle, who were like, what the fuck? And there have been reports of these regular down the middle Democrats who think that Jasmine Crockett and AOC are too much and they're too woke and all that kind of bullshit like that, are urging AOC to primary Chuck Schumer to get him out of office. So if the calls are coming from inside the house is what I'm basically saying. And so that's why I don't think it's as easy. You may ultimately be right, Steve. I'm not trying to say that you're wrong, but what I'm saying is I don't think it's as clear as you're getting ready to make it seem.
This fight's over, dog. This fight's over. This is the 3 knockdown in the first round, or 2 knockdown in the first round, another knockdown in the second round, another knockdown in the third round, but it went the distance. It's over, dog. The Democrats are done. The Republicans have won. And the reason why they've won is because the Republicans don't care about people. So there's a difference if they cared about people. It would be a difference if they cared about, individuals. Like you guys say, oh well, how are they gonna be able to hide this when the money's not coming in? They don't care if the money comes in. They don't care what their supporters are gonna think. They don't care about being reelected in 2 years. They don't care about what 4 years looks like from now, because they feel like 4 years from now they're gonna have everything in place that it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what the election says. It doesn't matter how the election finishes. They don't care. They've won. And they've got a guy in there who, like you said, he's allowing everybody to blame this idiot in Elon Musk, right? And people are still thinking, well, when we get away from it, it's Elon that's doing all the bad stuff. It's not Trump. It's not the Republican Party. It's not the senators. It's not the House. It's Elon. This is all Elon and the people that he's employing, these 16-year-olds. Like you see it everywhere. Oh, the 16-year-old, these 20-year-old, IT guys, and Elon running around ruining America. No. This is the people that are allowing it to happen. All this stuff that Elon is doing can easily be stopped if the senators, if the House, everybody just decides, hey, we're not going to have this shit. Democrats bring something up, we're going to support it. And guess what? They're not going to. They're not. The impeachment isn't going to happen. They're going to bring it up. It's not going to happen. Anything that they bring to the table is not going to happen. And if it goes to the courts, we already know what that looks like from a Supreme Court standpoint. And then we know what it's going to look like from an individual judge standpoint, because Trump is going to do what he wants to do. He's sending people out of this country, even though it got blocked. And who's going to stop him? The legal system's not going to stop him. The military's not going to stop him. And if it gets to that point, guess what? Here we go. Martial law. Now we're stuck with this guy. They've won, dog. It's over. It's a wrap. So from here,
I hear you. I can't push back
go on and live our lives. Like that's how I see it.
I can't push back on that, with the exception just to say, I guess everything that I'm saying is dependent upon democracy holding up. You know what I'm saying? But I can't argue. I can't argue with your points.
How you said I sounded going into it when I was saying I hope that there's some Republicans that'll do the right thing. The same thing that I said that you were like, it's not going to happen. That's how you sound now. You have a hopeful mind. And
well, no, I'm not hopeful. I'm very pessimistic. But I'm saying everything that I'm saying is dependent upon like democracy surviving or whatever. So like the scenario I'm laying out is like, Trump is doing all this crazy shit, this illegal shit. But at the end of the day, the guardrails are gonna hold, right? He's gonna get away with some bullshit, but the railing's gonna hold. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that it is, because I'm in that same camp with everything that you just said. But in terms, like my whole argument that I'm laying out here is in terms of like how Democrats fight him, and I think that's gonna depend on what happens with this battle that we see brewing internally over the next couple of months, because you have one side of the Democratic Party who thinks that, the problem is that we don't embrace Republicans enough, and we need to talk to them and see what they think, and maybe try to compromise some of the things that we believe in, for them. And I'm like, I felt that too shortly after the election. I said it on the pod. I said it in chat when I was like, Dems are going to have to get away from these gay rights issues or whatever. Right. And then I had to check myself to be like, I'm basically saying like, oh, we got to let Republicans shit on the gay community or
and
whatever if
everyone
we
else
want to
for
win
that matter.
elections or whatever. You know what I mean? Like what kind of country would we be? Like, so what's going to happen? Because they're not going to stop there, right? They
No, you're right.
started because they're an
You're right.
easy target, but now we see them erasing Black history from the entire. Like Trump signed an order the other day, the I think it's like restoring history or some bullshit like that. I got it here. What the fuck is it called? Where is it? Um,
Democracy's done, dog. It's not gonna hold up. It's gonna soon be the kingdom of America, and he wants it to turn into the UK, where he can be the
oh,
king, and then he's gonna hand it off to somebody after him. Like that's what
yeah,
he's trying to create.
he signed an order, an executive order that's entitled "Restoring Truth," which is going to be like them putting back these Confederate statues. So we're going to erase Black history and then put back, shit from the Confederacy. People who literally fought against America. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
shit like that or whatever. So first, like, okay, they're coming for gay folks because they're an easy target. Now they're coming for minorities and all these other things like that. So based on the logic that I expressed shortly after the election, it's we got to bend a little bit on these gay rights issues and let Republicans shit on those people. Do I
Mhm.
go on and say, well, we got to bend a little bit on these Black issues and let them shit on Black people and let them shit on
Mhm.
brown people and let them shit on anybody that's not white? We got to bend a little bit and allow Trump to be able to take some money out of the government to put in his pocket. We got to bend a little bit and people like Trump, so we got to let him get a third term. You know what I mean? Like you keep bending on these principles, and you see what I'm saying? And so that's why I don't think that, but it depends for our side of things. It depends on who's going to be in charge, and not just who's going to be in charge, but also the people, because for years, even though I don't really like a lot of shit that Stephen A says when he gets into politics, I think the one thing that he said recently politically, where he talked about how the last person the American people chose for the Democratic Party was Barack Obama. And then after the Democratic Party forced Hillary Clinton on them, it forced Joe Biden on them, and then it forced Kamala Harris on them. Um, um, the party keeps choosing who our champion is going to be versus letting the people choose who they want their champion to be and then seeing what happens. And so people have to stay engaged and tell the leadership, I'm not for this shit. I'm not for the new guy Ken, whatever his name is, where he in his first speech as DNC chair, he's talking about the good billionaires. In my opinion, there are no good billionaires. You don't make that much money without fucking people over throughout your
Being a good
career.
person, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And so I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's a billionaire like George Soros, who is liberal as fuck, who supports almost everything that I support. George Soros didn't get that fucking rich by not fucking somebody over at some point in his life, regardless of how good he is for the cause today. You know what I'm saying?
Wait a minute now. Wait a minute now. You said he supports what you support. How can we leverage that for the Cast Worthy podcast? Okay.
Let me let me ask you a quick question, really quick. Yes or no, and you guys don't have to elaborate. 2028, do you think there's an election, a
Yeah,
presidential election?
yeah.
I hope so. I hope so.
Even
I
I
North Korea
hope
am
has
so.
elections.
dog. I am to the point today where I don't even think we're gonna have an election in 2028. I
I
feel like
hope
Even
we're.
so.
North Korea has
But
elections, Steve.
but
I
but
There's
don't
only
think.
one
but
I don't
candidate on the
think.
ballot, but
but
I don't think that we're. I don't think
we
that
and
we're
you.
there right now. But I think that everything that'll be done between now and then are gonna put it to
I have to
the.
apologize to VP in the sense of because I don't like the Hitler talk because that shit just to me is something different. When I've been to internment camps, Auschwitz, and all that, I've been to Auschwitz. That I don't like to hearken anything for that because if we're there, then that's just a different kind of place.
No, it's
But
Hitler.
I did
It's
push
Hitler.
back on VP about the dictatorship part, and I gotta apologize to you. You were 100% right, no question.
It's
This is
Hitler
the
though.
aim. And
I
I
mean,
never doubted that that was where it was. I just said it was too early to say. But here we are.
so I mean, there's no apology needed, but so the Hitler piece, what I
That
think
that's
people,
VP being a dick to say, I was right. But okay, go ahead.
no, I'm serious. Like it's not necessary. I mean,
You
we
sound
here
like
now.
Mark Lamont Hill.
But
Hmm.
the Hitler thing, EJ, what I think people misunderstand is that a lot of us in this country are not like educated on history, right? And so when people hear Hitler, all they think about is it's like the persecution of the
The
Jews,
last
right?
part. Yeah, the last
They
part.
think about exactly, they think about the last part, the concentration camps and all that kind of stuff like that. What people don't realize is that when Hitler first gets elected as the chancellor, right? He's very populist. The people love him, and the folks in his party, in whatever their version of Congress is called, they say this guy has some wild ideas. He seems like he's kind of batshit crazy, but we're gonna use him. We're gonna ride his popularity to get our agenda done, and then we'll just have him signing all this shit that we passed. And then what they don't realize is that because of how popular he is, it makes his supporters force the Congress to bend to his will. You see what I'm saying? And then it goes from
But
a few of them saying, "Man, this guy's batshit crazy. I don't know," boo, 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 and then all of them fall in line, right? It's
but the
like to
difference
Steve's point: get down or lay down, right? And
but the
then what you
difference
see here, hang on a second. Let me just finish the point. What you see here when people talk about Hitler is when Trump comes on the scene in 2015, he comes down the escalator. People say, "Man, this guy's crazy. He's kind of batshit. I don't know." Boo boo. He becomes a nominee, and there's Republicans who are willing to publicly challenge him, right? And then as we get closer, as we get further away from 2015, the number of people willing to challenge him, they start to dwindle. Fast forward to 2024, 2025, the number of Republicans willing to challenge him are non-existent now.
Zero.
So
I get that. I get that. But what I'm saying is, in the Hitler aspect is, we have to be sensitive to the fact that Hitler massacred a lot of people.
But it was
And
how you
so
got
I
there
don't
though. That
right.
that's the thing.
I know, but how you got there is how you got there is very similar to any dictator or any person in leadership that didn't necessarily massacre millions of people. So all I'm always saying is I don't like when people try to throw that around. I'm not Jewish, but I respect. I don't know if y'all can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got you. Been hearing you the whole
I
time.
respect when Jewish people understand the fact that their people have been through something that we can't just arbitrarily just throw out that name. And I get it. I just think it's a bad.
I hear what you're saying, EJ, and I have the utmost respect for those folks too, and their history and all that kind of thing like that, right? But you think about this guy, Khalil, I can't think of his name, the protester from Columbia University. The
Yeah,
federal
he went to
government,
Columbia. Yeah,
the
I'm done.
federal government, right, went and arrested this dude and then disappeared him, right? They arrested
But
him in New York.
isn't that more Mussolini? Isn't that more Mussolini than this
But the point
Hitler?
is that to the point that
Why
Steve
doesn't
made,
Mussolini get a reputation like that? That's
because
fascism. It's not the same as
right,
fucking murdering millions of people.
but here's the thing, EJ. You already have right now the federal government building private prison camps, because what's going to happen is that
They already
eventually,
have. Bart, let me stop you.
no, but
They've already had private prisons. They've already had this prison complex, which Biden signed off on in '94. Let's not argue that. Prison, don't give
that's
me
not what I'm
prison.
arguing. That's not what I'm arguing.
My point is a lot of black people were jailed in '94 for petty fucking crimes. Nobody called Biden and Clinton and all these people that fucking jailed hundreds of brothers and sisters for
Where
selling
were they
weed and
jailed?
shit They were jailed in federal camps, federal prisons.
But
Exactly.
you're looking,
Everything.
but you're also looking at 94. You're looking at 94 with
It doesn't make a difference
2025
to
eyes.
you.
It does
It
make a
doesn't make a
difference.
difference.
It does make a difference.
Jay, this is the
Maybe to
difference.
you.
You
It
have
makes a difference to everybody.
you have Trump talking about arresting people and sending them to Guantanamo Bay in Cuba,
I get
right?
that part. We're talking about immigrants. We're not talking about American citizens.
He's
Different
talked
things.
about doing that to Americans as well. And this
And
guy,
I get that, and personally believe some of these American citizens that have committed heinous crimes should go there. We talking about people that got committed of fuck shit. Biden jailed guys for 30 years for selling weed.
But you're looking at weed
we're
with
not
2025 eyes. You're not looking at
exactly
weed with 1994 eyes,
like
dog. In
You're
I'm
right.
not arguing.
1994,
I'm not
You're
arguing the
right.
94
You're right.
crime bill.
You're
I'm not
right.
arguing the
You're right.
94 crime bill.
You're right.
The guy who the Columbia student who they disappeared. This dude is a green card holder, which means he has legal status in this country. He has legal constitutional rights in this country.
I have all
They
respect to that. I understand.
they arrested this dude and disappeared him somewhere. And then we later find out after like 3 weeks that they sent him to somewhere in Louisiana, right? And the reason they did that was to get him out of the New York system to make sure they don't have a judge who says, hey, you violated this dude's rights and you need to let him go, right?
No,
They did
I
that to
understand.
another woman. They did that to another woman who was a protester somewhere in, I want to say she was in South Carolina, or I'm sorry, she's in Massachusetts. She walked out of her house, plainclothes cops with no uniforms, no badges, no marked vehicles, pulled up. This woman probably thought she was being kidnapped or something, threw her in a vehicle and disappeared her to Louisiana.
Why did they
What's
arrest
the
him?
stop? Because she protested against the Israeli treatment of the Palestinians.
But what were the grounds they had?
Well, I just told you.
That was it.
Yes. And this is the point, is that they are taking people who are
But
exercising
Vari,
First
they
Amendment.
just blocked it. They just blocked it. They blocked her.
Vari, I already stated that I had to tell you that I have to apologize about the dictatorship piece. Again, what I'm saying is, and I may be sounding a little Jewish, but when you're talking about what Hitler did, I don't know that we're ever going to see anything like that in our natural lives again.
It's just because you're not there yet. So
Right.
if you think of what VP is saying and what people that are
I know about the buildup. I know.
This is the path.
Comparing him to Hitler is basically saying if you allow it to get to that point, it can potentially get to that point, right? So Michael Jordan wasn't Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan wasn't Michael Jordan in New York, right? When he was a kid in New York, he wasn't Michael Jordan. It took all the constant work. It took, him continuing to practice every single day to get to Michael Jordan.
Do you guys both believe that in the modern day world,
yes,
that we would allow?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I ain't finished. Got it.
Yes.
All right. And guess what? If that is the case,
I don't think we would allow it.
Joe Biden is fucking administration, man, because you should have been fucking tougher to do what you do to prevent this shit from being what the fuck it is. How about that?
Because at the end of the day, it basically worked. I'll say this, right, to make the
How about that? How about that though? I'm tired of hearing because
what could have Joe Biden done?
No, because Joe Biden could have done. Bar just said something just on student loans, right? Bar just said something, and he had a more.
I gotta go. We gotta wrap this up.
He had a more decisive answer on something. But when it came to student loans and just things like that, we asked the question time and time again: what can Joe Biden do? And the question was, I don't know.
But we would be without student loans today and still be in the same point. That's the thing. So what could have Joe Biden done?
Well, no, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe we would have America that might have voted a little differently. Because we're not talking about us. We're talking about the people that were swing people that didn't vote for Kamala. We're not talking about us.
All right, we could pick this up next week. We had 2.5 hours. VP, you could go ahead and clean us up out of here.
All right. Hey, everybody. We definitely appreciate you guys taking time for rocking with us for this week's episode of the Cast Worthy Podcast. For anybody who joined live, we appreciate you taking time out of your Sunday. Like we always say, make that phone call, send that text message, reach out to your people, let them know you're thinking about them. They'll appreciate it. You'll feel good about it too. You can find the podcast on all podcasting platforms by searching at Castworthy. You can also follow us on any social media by searching at Castworthy. On Instagram, it's at Castworthy_podcast. While you're there, you can leave a like, subscribe, share, follow, tell a friend, help us grow the audience. We very much appreciate it. And until next time, we'll see you with another fresh episode of the Castworthy Podcast. Until then, we're out.